Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing today? Me, TGP.
I'm Shadrock.
And I'm Neo Claire.
And this will be the only video. Well, technically, I made one other, but this will be the only video I'm going to upload about this entire Repid Revo situation. That's it. I'm going to go over the entire timeline in the general sense, kind of talk about some things that happened, some little events here and there that happened and whatnot, and that's about it, really. Not gonna really.
This is gonna be a very off-the-cuff kind of video. We're just gonna air out like what's going on, the overall situation, like how we feel about it.
And I'm gonna make fun of it the entire time, just so you know.
We are absolutely going to laugh at this man.
At this point, like, all sorts of humorous reactions that we might have towards this whole ordeal. Like, let's be honest, with all of the stuff that's been happening, like, he's had it coming, and like, it would only be fitting for this whole ordeal and for
like
a specific character to be treated as a lol cow as a whole.
It's like, normally you want to be respectful about this kind of thing, but the thing is, as we'll go over in a little bit, this guy literally backstabbed me in like the worst way imaginable, so no, I don't care. I really don't care.
Not to mention that the whole situation is like extremely stupid, man, so like, yeah.
Like, here's the sadder part too, if you really want to look at it this way. You getting backstabbed, it's like, I don't want to take away the harm, because it's pretty bad no matter what, like no matter how you look at it.
It's like the cherry on top at this point.
Yeah, he's done so much worse. Even like, I will say it's alleged. I don't want to, because I just don't want to even remotely take a legal chance about it. So I'm just gonna say allegedly.
No.
Allegedly. Okay.
Allegedly.
But yeah, it's like you, when, because I experienced your situation because we were there. But then when this whole thing started, all of a sudden it's like, damn, like, wow.
Yeah, like, okay, it's like, okay, before I thought he was just the biggest jerk imaginable, but the more I learned about him, the deeper the rabbit hole just kept going and going and going. It's like, when is it going to stop? And I guess the answer is never.
It has not stopped. I think we're in the wormhole as we speak. I will officially declare, though, how do we all know him and associate with him? I'll start first because it's the quickest one ever, and that is none. I have not spoken to this man. I have not. We've had no interactions whatsoever. He probably doesn't even know I exist, which is fine. You will now, though. But otherwise, the only quote-unquote interactions I've had is basically the things that happened with you, Shadowrock.
Yeah.
Neo, you go next.
Yeah, I'll go next. Honestly, I know of this person, of Repid Revo, as a Mega Man content creator that he is because well, let's be honest, like back when I was growing up, there was only one content creator that I used to like really follow, and he's right here in this call with us right now.
That's correct.
Shadowrock. And well,
hi.
And I didn't get to like actually know the guy until way later, when people were bringing him up and all that stuff. Like, fun story, when Shadowrock was talking randomly about Twitch, about some controversy around Twitch, I was like, what's going on with the streaming, with this streaming platform? Like, what's going on with it right now? Like, not knowing that was the guy's alias, you know? Like, I was, oh, Twitch is Repid Revo. Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, for clarification, Twitch is the name of his OC.
Yeah.
It's like a Maverick Hunter B-man like dude.
Okay, that makes sense.
Pretty ugly design, by the way.
Oh, we're just starting already, huh?
Yeah, we're already started. But just for clarification, when we say Twitch, that's who we're talking about, not the streaming platform. But I think, like, just to make it easier, we're just gonna call him Revo for short.
Yeah. Other than that, well, just very brief interactions that I've had with the guy, like some DMs and whatnot. After all, like, we were sharing mutual interests at first, as both members of the Mega Man community. Me as a representative of Shadowrocks, as that is, But yeah, that's about it.
All right. I guess for my story, our next bullet point is like talking about like my history of him. So buckle in. I'm just gonna start from the beginning and go from there. So my earliest interactions with Revo was when I think he was like taking a vague jab at someone for like editing some dive artwork. I can't remember the character off the top of my head, but like this person made an edit of some dive artwork to like make them a little less sexy, and then Revo was just kind of like not having that. But I don't think he mentioned my name. But either way, it happened that people started attacking this user, and people were kind of blaming it on Twitch. I mean Revo. They're blaming it on Revo. Basically saying like, oh, you're by retweeting this person, you're sending your fans after them. And around this time, I didn't know anything about this guy. Like, I knew he was like a Mega Man YouTuber, but I never watched his channel really. I still don't. I haven't really watched any of his videos.
It's not my Oshi, bro.
A couple, but like,
mm-hmm.
like his content was pretty decent, mostly covering like Mega Man lore and that sort of stuff. But I
Yeah.
don't think very highly of it. After all, I wasn't into the whole franchise for the gameplay mostly.
Yeah, I feel the same. Like, I already know the lore. I don't need someone to explain it to me.
Yeah.
But the only videos of his I've watched to date is the Mega Man Awards, which I was a part of. I'll get to that. And the most recent one, the open letter to Capcom, and it was mostly through THP stream where he was reacting to it.
Yeah, buddy. It's the only video I've ever seen.
Yep. Anyways, about the Mega Man Awards. So before that, going back to the situation where like this artist was getting dogged on, this whole situation controversy happened on Twitter. People just dogpiling on Twitch, and again, I didn't know anything about this guy, so I made my own vague tweet like, "Hey man, like bullying is not okay in this community. Like, let's try to be more like the Mega Man heroes that we love and stuff like that." In the replies to that tweet, people started like going like, "Oh, Twitch is." I'm sorry, I really need to stop doing that. Revo is like the worst person ever, and he's he's big dick and stuff like that. Like that's like all the replies were. So at this point, Twitch, dang it, Revo contacts me and DMs and is like, "Hey man, I'm gonna clear the air." And I'm like, okay. So he said his piece, and that's when after clearing the air, so to speak, we started becoming friends. And he invited me to collab on that Mega Man Award show that he did a while back. I think it was in 2020.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man.
I remember being like really hyped about it back then because like it was like a very big coalition of like Mega Man fans coming together to produce like a single big event, and it was great. It was great.
Yep. So, and just for the timeline's sake, I'm gonna bring up like the next thing that happened chronologically. So this is after he invited me to this award show and everything. Like at this point, it's been announced. Like I'm officially part of this thing. I'm officially collabing with Repid Revo. Even though Spec, my wife, girlfriend at the time, did not like that because she's had her own run-ins with Revo and his ex bonus level on his Discord server. Basically, they were being jerks to Spec for being a little different, a little out there, but it is what it is. So at this time, my girlfriend's telling me like, "Do not collab with this guy, please. I'm begging you." And I just wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt because I guess I'm a nice guy or something. And I just wanted to be like, I can only judge people off of my own experiences, so I'll see how it goes. Spoiler alert, it didn't go very well in the grand scheme of things, because after we kind of settled our differences with like my girlfriend like not wanting me to collab with him and stuff. Yes, we did have that conversation. I think that was like one of our first conversations actually, but we ended up like kind of coming to a truce between the three of us. But pretty much shortly after that, this was January of 2020, this detractor account came out of nowhere on Twitter. It was known as Saved You a Click SR. And they started out by saying, well, SR is parroting the content of Rockman Corner. Like basically like reading the articles and then regurgitating it as mega news videos.
So let me stop you there kind of quickly just to go over like what exactly it was like that thing was doing. So I don't know if they're still active at this time, but there was a Twitter. It was called Save You a Click, where essentially, let's say Kotaku or Polygon writes an article, or it can be like one of those random sites like, oh, here's you will not believe what happened in this story, and then literally it was just quote tweet it and be like, this happened or that happened. So basically it would just summarize the entirety of that article, so that way you can just cut the crap, skip the ads or whatever's there, and just like you basically get the meat, the details that you're looking for, instead of having to go through an entire maze of nonsense. So basically that's what they were trying to do with your content, which I'm like, all right.
Well, there's still like a bunch of accounts like with that sort of like gimmick around them, like the Save Your Click gimmick.
Yeah,
like, it isn't just an account at this point. It's multiple. Like there's Save Your Click for like general gaming journalism articles and all this stuff. There's Save Your Click for NFL. There's Save Your Click for NASCAR. Hell, there's even Save Your Click VTubers for VTuber news.
I think at that time, I'm not sure if there were more, but the one that I clearly remember, and that was probably popular at the time, it had like Mario's finger like pointing at
it's still there. It's still a thing today. That's the only one I'm familiar with.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like at some point it kind of just branched off into many other topics.
Right, but yeah, that's what that account was trying to do. It was trying to be like, haha, this guy is like promoting his next mega news, but here's all the Rockman Corner articles he's about to read off. And that's like what he did at first. So I ended up making like a little statement to that, kind of explain how like me and Protodude are good friends, and like we know that, I don't know where I'm going with this, but Protodude, God, do I even have this still? I don't know.
We're pretty much trying to like prove to the account, to the detractor account, that you as a content creator of the Mega News and Rockman Corner were on good terms and in good collaborative terms to produce the content that you were producing.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, well, I remember that this Save Your Click SR account pretty much had the summarizing your videos into a single click purpose for an account, but then started going off the tangent, and the account pretty much started going against you. You know, like actually trying to defame you for multiple sorts of reasons.
Before that, I just remembered. So the thing is, that whole like parroting Rockman Corner thing, apparently it was a red herring, according to the original creator of the account, which was Prototwee. His name is Prototwee. But I don't know. I don't buy that, because I've also seen a similar sentiment from Repid Revo himself. I think it was possibly in his own server. I don't remember exactly where it came from, but I think it was in his own server. There was a friend, still friends with him to this day, in fact. But he sent me a tweet like, "Hey, like, I noticed that Repid Revo said this about you in the server," and I actually went to Revo myself. And this is actually like way after the whole saved you a click stuff, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe it's, you know what? Never mind. I don't know what the timeline of that. But anyway, I said, could you explain this, please? And he's like, oh, that was just a misunderstanding. I didn't really know you as a person at the time. Yada, yada. Okay. Fair enough. But, you know, like, the seed was there. Like, he knew... Alright, well, he had definitely had the same thought at some point. Kind of setting the stage there. But... Anyway, yeah, I was just saying, like, hey, I am a collaborator, Proto Dude, like, we're good friends. I even, I put links to all his articles in my video descriptions as best as I can. I try to cite my sources in the video description. Like, it's no big deal.
Which you always do. Which you still do to this day.
And I wouldn't even say I read the articles off, you know? I try to put my own opinions in there and all that.
I'll kind of, so I guess to kind of give a little bit of a detail, I'm pretty sure around that time, that was like a somewhat popular thing to do, which is for like a YouTuber to just read an article and just talk about it and, you know, give their own opinion on it. You just happen to do like the Rockman Corner, or the Rockman Corner version of it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's like, as long as you're not like claiming it that it were your own articles or anything like that, like, oh, I did this, I wrote this, and things like that.
By the way, that's still like a popular thing.
Oh,
at least yeah, it's still popular today. Like, people are reposting TikToks and whatnot, like, into compilations, montages.
Absolutely.
But Mega News, what I do is just like, you know, here's the news, like, here's my opinion on it. I'm going to rant about it a little bit, and there you go.
That's it.
It's pretty simple.
That's why that account was made, because they was like, you know, I don't like this Shutterrock guy just talking about these news, man. It's easy views, it's easy clicks. What the hell? Where are my views? That's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah. But oh well, I guess it was a red herring according to Prototwee. So we're gonna get onto the main issue at hand, apparently. So after that, they came out with this document, the Detractor account, by the way. Came out with this document. They're like, haha, we fooled you. Actually, our issue of you is this: you have a public channel known as the Hall Dumb, where you post screenshots of quote unquote dumb comments that you've gotten over the last however long it was up. And it was just like stuff like people being kind of silly, not watching the videos to the very end, or saying really not the most intelligent things, stuff like that. And I will own up to it, like, I should have blurred out the names first and foremost. It wasn't right of me to just put their name out there for everyone to see.
Do you know what's really funny? we really didn't think about that sort of stuff back then. Like we were
didn't.
we were really open with like our information, like back in the day. Like even as that recent, we just kept saying that we would voluntarily just put out information like that, or not even cover up information that we're supposed to. Now we're a lot more conscious about it, which is good. But
Well,
yeah,
even back then, I will dare say that we were trying to like, not make things as unnecessarily public as possible when dealing with stuff, at least in our server and stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I think a lot of YouTubers have gone through this phase where like you react kind of aggressively against like people talking smack about you in the comments and such. And that, for me, that was my phase. I didn't handle it the best I could have. I definitely said like a mean thing or two here and there. Not all of them, but there was a couple. But that was their main thing. Like, oh, we're gonna teach you a lesson about this, and try to cancel you on the internet about it. The main thing for me is like, this is the first time I heard about this. No one ever came up and talked to me about this beforehand. And their argument was like, oh, well, Shadowrock is unapproachable. If I bring this up to him, he's just going to laugh it off and stuff like that. But the thing is, I never really try to be like that. Like, if you got an issue like that, like the Hall of Dom, if you had come to tell me that like some of the things in there ain't right, I would have definitely listened and thought about it. Like, I'm not gonna laugh you off and kick you out just for saying things like that. If you have a legitimate concern, like, definitely hit me up.
Yeah, because like, if people mostly agree with the whole idea, like, I'm not gonna say that we were like an echo chamber, but we kind of sort of were, in a sense where it's like, you're really not gonna disagree with the idea because it's like, oh, it's a, like, we didn't think of anything that was like, it was like extremely malicious, but once it was pointed out, it was like, you know what? Damn, maybe it was better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And then again, like, we
hindsight
ended up complying with the whole thing. Like, we ended up like yeah, we noticed that probably many of the things regarding the Hall of Dump were like really unnecessary in terms of having a community and exposing it to the public. So at the end of the day, we ended up like doing away with it. Like, we completely asked the whole thing. Like, I don't think any of that was ever saved, honestly. Like, I don't even remember any of the stuff that was posted in there. And it's right there for the public to see. Like, you can just join the Shadowrock CX Discord and you'll see there's nothing of the kind.
No, like as soon as that document became a thing, like, I got it immediately. I didn't even like read the whole thing. I'm just like, no, I get it. Like, that needs to go.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's that, but there's also something very important that needs to be like pointed out, because like, this malicious account made that document with a specific purpose in mind. It was in order to like get people to in some sort of way hate you or something like that. But here's the thing, we gotta, with the topic at hand being the main topic, the whole situation regarding Repid Revo, like, how does a Save Your Click SR account and Repid Revo like guard like some sort of relation?
Yeah, that is
Before we get to that, I'll just tell you like how the story ended with that account. By the way, I have a document about this. You guys can just read that. THP can link it if he wants to.
Of course. Y'all want to read?
Yeah, but yeah, how it ended was, I ended up like DMing this account, to basically like get some answers, like, well, why are you doing this? And at the end of it, they're like, we're gonna blackmail you, bro. Like, if you don't make a public apology about whatever we're trying to get you about, this account's gonna stay up. Just to be real, the account did stay up until very, very recently, like 2 months ago. Recently,
It pretty much had no effect all those years.
really didn't. And as Proto Tweet told me, this account, like the people that were involved in this account, basically knew they were cooked the moment that other content creators such as Proto Dude, Ash Paulson from GameXplain at the time, now he's with Good Vibes Gaming, like they all came to bat for me. It's like, no, we ain't listening to this bull crap. You know, you're being really malicious right now. You need to quit that. At that point, they knew they were cooked, and they just stopped operating.
The other thing too that many of us didn't really remember at the time, but it was a thing that actually did occur, was and I think it was part of the reason why like it really stopped. They took our channel artist's art and edited it with like the mouse over it. Mm-hmm. And in the artist community, that's a giant no-no. You're editing someone else's art with that. So that was like a pretty huge thing. But that fact kind of, like, it was there, but it kind of flew over people's heads until much later. But we'll get to that part much later. But I do remember that was a thing that was pointed out. It's like, yeah, that's just kind of.
But yeah, you know, keep this all in mind as we go forward, especially like the hollow dumb aspect, because there is some irony there as well as we continue.
Oh my god! When I found this out, I wanted like, no. Actually, if I remember correctly, because it was like in the old mod chat that we had before we got the new one, because we did briefly talk about it there. That was pointed out. That yes, Revo has that, but worse.
Yeah, yeah, arguably worse.
Pretty much.
Oh, man.
But yeah, let's just say, I got through this whole ordeal. My same friend who had shared with me the sentiment before that, you know, Revo didn't exactly like the way that I operated Mega News. He also made a comment at the time. It's like, hey, you know, this doc reminds me a lot of Repid Revo's own style of writing. And just for anyone who's not aware, like the way Revo writes, he likes to capitalize entire words at a time to emphasize, like, you know, like emphasize certain words and things like that. And there's a lot of that in that doc.
Funnily enough, like if you go over his public document, like his public version of the Hell of Dumb called Aberrant Units, like you will see that what we're talking about, that specific writing pattern, like you will see it right there.
Yeah, like that. So yeah, that fact. We just thought it was just some schmuck who was like pretty upset with the Hall of Dumb. We didn't expect it to be like someone
at this time. At this time, I really did think it was just like some anonymous person that didn't really like us, but it turned out to be much more than that, unfortunately. Because when I found out, by the time I found out the truth, like I've already moved on from it. Like I just wrote it off as some troll. No,
yeah, I think all of us did, to be honest.
Yeah, but so my friend was like, "Hey, you know, this is a lot like Repid Revo's writing." I wrote that off at the time. No way. He wouldn't do something that stupid.
Oh well.
And for full transparency, I also DM'd Revo about the situation at the time, and he was like, oh yeah, it's kind of bad, but you know, you could have handled it better too. Like you could have, I don't exactly remember what he said, but he like offered some criticisms of like how I talked to them in the DMs as well.
To put it in Mega Man perspective, this man hyperbursted projection that we didn't realize was projection at the time. It was kind of insane, actually.
There's a lot of stuff that's like projecting from this man.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I was like, there's no way, bro.
So, you know, I didn't really think much about it at the time. I did raise an eyebrow. I was like, why do you care so much about, like, shouldn't it be obvious, like, who's, like, being the malicious one here? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead and... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I also remember that you tried to report the whole thing to Twitter because, like, it was a pretty clear and blatant blackmail attempt, and Twitter didn't do crap.
They usually don't.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it was like, maybe if they had gotten, like, I wouldn't say like a lot of traction. No, I need like an insane amount of traction in order to be like, okay, maybe we should probably do something about it. Even then, that was slim, but this is like nothing. It was literally just like, it got kind of squashed very quickly, which is pretty good if you ask me.
Yeah.
Looking back at it, the only thing I can really, the only word that comes to mind when I look back at this event is just, that was cringe, bro. Like, sweet Jesus.
And before we get to the big reveal, which is kind of obvious at this point, the last red flag that the Revo group was a part of this is that when Ash from Game Explain at the time went to bat for me, the Save You Click SR account posted this screenshot of me, like, you know, saying that bullying is not okay. And this is another thing that I didn't really think about until later when I knew the truth. But that screenshot comes directly from that thread I mentioned earlier where I was talking about Revo's bullying in a vague sense. And that, you know, everyone in the comments was kind of dogpiling on him. So that's another moment.
That's like a very oddly specific tweet. Where'd you get that, bro?
Yeah, it's like, why are you digging this one up specifically?
Yeah.
But so fast forward. Well, there's another falling out we had like before this point, but I guess I'll circle back to that later. But so let's fast forward to say the kind of like the tail end of 2022. At this point, like, I was about to move in with my wife. Like, we're about to, like, you know, start our life together in a real sense. All of a sudden, I get this DM from Metal something or another. I can pull it up here if I can find it. Yeah, Metal Sheetior. Or their at is 886546. They said, "Hi Shadowrock, may I talk to you about something important? It's about the Save You Click SR incident. I know who did it. I just figured I might give you the closure and a possible heads up to take care of your friends in the Mega Man community to keep clear of." And then a user named Prototwee made the document and Repid Revo helped. And this is the first time I ever heard the words that Repid Revo helped with that account back then.
That was like,
yeah, more than, yeah, it's like 2.5 years later, this finally comes out after I've already like moved on from it.
Yeah.
It really does show that you can do something really shitty and not many people might know about it, but hey, it'll come out at some point. That to me is an insane part. If he had never said anything, we would have never known. He would have actually outright got away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I fully believe that Revo was ready to take this knowledge to the grave if it was never brought up.
Basically, and honestly, if all that information didn't come to light, like this stuff that you will have on Repload Revo yourself, like it will be way less significant than most of the stuff that's going out there right now.
Right. So at this point, like I kind of touched on earlier, me and Revo already had a falling out. Like we were in no contact when I was DM'd this, so I didn't bring it up to him right away. So at this point, we were like, bro, this is old drama. Like we've moved on. Like let's just leave it be. I didn't even reply to this person, whoever they were. So it wasn't until January of 2023 that Revo contacted me, and he wanted to apologize about the falling out that we had before, which I wasn't going to like talk about. I didn't even talk about this in my document, but I will go over it anyway because he himself has brought it up now in the public light. But anyway, he January 2023, he comes to apologize for our falling out, and that's when I hit him with the real questions like, okay, this user DM'd me saying that you are a part of this. Like, what's going on with that? Like, we gotta clear the air here right now if we're gonna move forward. And that's when he spills the beans. Yep, I helped with it. Well, not exactly. He didn't say I helped with it. You see, according to him, it was all bonus level's fault. It was their idea, their designs. They got Proto-Tweed to create the account and say all this malicious stuff about me. And at this time, bonus level was manipulating my being Revo. Apparently a bonus level was like manipulating Revo to do all this malicious stuff, to hate people that they hated, so on and so forth. He even brought up like, bonus didn't like your wife, but I was like neutral. And that's not true, by the way. I've seen a DM before where Revo just straight up says, no, we don't like you. So,
listen, if you think
oh my God,
the reflect chip in Battle Network 6 is powerful, oh my God. Whatever this guy uses, whatever he uses to deflect, tenfold. Holy moly. You're going to keep that in mind.
That's the secret reflector PA right there. Also, for context, for those that might not be informed, bonus level, aka Lucy, happens to be Repid Revo's ex-wife, and they also had their own fallouts in the past.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah, and I guess it should also be said, like at the time before they split up, bonus level was like the main channel artist for Repid Revo. Like they are responsible for like all the artwork that you see on that channel, both the videos and the thumbnails. Until recently, after they split up, they he had commissioned other artists, but that's a story for another time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just to sum it up, Revo's explanation was, bonus level kind of orchestrated the whole thing, and Proto-Tweed did create the account and stuff, but please don't blame my friend. He was just going along with it, something like that. And as for Revo himself, he said that he's only guilty of knowing that it existed, but not telling me about it. That's his own words. Even today, that's his story.
Lovely. Wonderful.
Pretty shady as it is,
Mm-hmm. So, that's kind of Like after that, he just like went on and on and on about how bonus level, harassed him, manipulated him, cheated on him, all that stuff. But that's not exactly relevant, so I don't really care to go over that stuff. So this conversation, like at this time, I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll forgive you. Just for the sake of like moving on, and you say that you're gonna do better, you're gonna turn over a new leaf. Fine, if you want to do that, fine by me. But I did say, if I ever catch you doing something like this to me ever again, like, it's over. You will live to regret it, basically. So that's where it was left. We were like from 2023 to 2024. We were kind of like associates in a way, but I didn't like do any collabs on his channel or anything because I told him like I'm not ready to do collabs. I really need to take this time to like take in all this information and digest it.
Yeah, because you just found out that the person that you thought was your friend like outright backstabbed you, like harshly.
Yeah,
I
wouldn't even say we were friends at this point.
You were professional acquaintances at the very least.
Yeah, it's just like, kind of like trying to be peaceful about this.
Yeah,
kind of like a truce, a peace treaty of sorts. Even though like he's actually made peace treaties that he's had people sign before. He didn't do that to me. Thank God. That would be weird.
Imagine if that would be like so freaking petty.
Shadowrock, I need you to sign this Google Doc now.
Oh my God. Yeah, but throughout this period, I was just like thinking about it all. I didn't really do anything. I probably in fact, I did reply to like a couple of his tweets here and there, but that's like the only interaction we had during this time period. Probably the most recent interaction we had before I broke it off with him officially was when he started calling people idiots on Twitter. And this was like the very end of December 2023. He was getting into this heated argument about lore robots or something. I don't really care. But he's just like, you're an idiot because you don't agree with my opinion. Okay.
Actually.
Yeah. So, he hasn't really changed. Because, like, that's just how he is. He loves getting into fights on the internet.
I remember, like, one of the most heated arguments that he's ever had on Twitter. Like, it was surrounding, like, a very stupid conversation about ships in the Mega Man franchise. And
that's the other big incident that happened.
And I'm not talking like about ships that take you across the sea or anything like that. Ships where you pair two characters together in like some sort of freaking platonic or romantic sort of relationship. And
I could kind of describe that one. I don't remember which year it took place, but I think it was like slightly before the whole incident where I initially fell with him happened. Because I think I was still associated with him at the time. But he went ballistic on this user because he was having a conversation with them about the Zero and CL pairing. And like somewhere along the way, it was apparently implied that he was a pedo.
Yeah.
Funny.
Because, like, he was
we got to this point.
His own words. He was through his own words, like some like sort of normalizing the fact that an over 100-year-old Reploid, I think 200-year-old, whatever, that a 200-year-old character will be going out with like a 14-year-old character.
I mean, I'm not gonna make any assumptions about what he said or didn't say about that. I just know Revo took whoever this user said as saying that he was a pedo. And that's when he made a doc about them and all this stuff. I'm not a pedo. They're a reprehensible person. I don't freaking know. I don't remember all the details. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head. But
it went along those lines, and it ended up getting heated as hell just because of freaking fictional pairing.
Kind of like the incident before where he was like not liking this artist's work. Now, kind of like that situation, people were dogpiling on him once again because guess what? This user was a minor.
Oh my god! Sorry.
Yeah. So, and then of course, Revo got heated as well, and there was a point where people were onto him for misgendering this user. And that's when Revo said the infamous words, "I'm sorry, but I don't respect the gender of people I no longer respect. Get bent."
That's like the most legendary quote ever, by this guy. I don't respect the pronouns from people that I do not respect.
And
you could even read it in like out loud in like some sort of freaking Virgil voice or something like that.
right, I remember at this time, I even was like in his DMs, like, bro,
What are you doing, man?
like, no matter how you feel, like, you can't just go and say things like that. That's asking for trouble.
Yeah. And honestly, like, that will only spell like the beginning of so many things. So many things. Like, of course,
Yeah.
like a lot of the skeletons in the closet of this man, like, they are from like over a decade and a half ago, because of so many people that have associated or even had like any sort of interaction with this guy that have been coming out. But like, God, like at that point, like it was like the taste test for the community, This is how I am in reality.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I lost my train of thought where we were.
We're talking about.
Oh, don't worry. We're gonna derail a lot, so don't you worry.
Yeah. Well, I guess at this point, now I remember.
Oh.
So, yeah, I took that year from 2023 to 24, just kind of digesting everything. And then at the end of December, I saw him like calling people idiots on Twitter. But that wasn't the only reason. Around this time period, I started to get the doubts, like the big doubts that Revo wasn't being completely honest about his involvement with the detractor account from back then, like his recounting of it.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, a lot of it was sparked by like my conversations with my old friend from back then, the one who pointed out that the writing style of the doc was a lot like Revo's. And he was like reminding me of certain details, and I'm like, it really does sound like he was more involved than he told me. And so, with those doubts in mind, I got in contact with the crew here, and I was like, I laid it all out. I told them how I feel and all that, and eventually, it was brought up that yes, indeed, Sapphire's art was defiled as part of that account,
Which she did not know at all.
She didn't know. And this was like when I brought this up, this was the first time she found out about it.
Yeah, I believe at the time she was like, at least when the account came by, she was like deep in college, so she was just not even around.
She was on standby for a while because of college.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember you mentioning that day like when we were dealing with the detractor account, that imagine if Sapphire were to see this sort of crap on her, and yeah, like we didn't get a reaction at all from Sapphire because of that whole reason.
Right. So it was decided that Sapphire wanted to talk to Revo. She would have liked to talk to Bonus Level as well, but the thing about Bonus Level is they kind of fell off the face of the internet. It's really hard to get in contact with them because, you know, that's by design. They like to be very private.
Yeah.
So that
now, you know.
Yeah. But you know, that's fine. It's kind of how it is. So we ended up talking to Revo instead. And I joined her because I wanted to officially just say, no, I don't associate with you anymore. So, you know, Sapphire went first. She said, you know, can you please delete the account because it's using my artwork. And to his credit, he actually did comply. I didn't expect that at first, to be honest. But he immediately told Prototweet to delete it. And they did comply. So, you know, credit where credit is due. They did do that.
Yeah.
I don't know why the account was up for as long as it was, but hey, you know, they did it. And by then I'm like, but listen, this is like one of the biggest betrayals I've ever experienced. And, you know, out of respect for my own feelings about it, and also just like seeing you still kind of misbehaving on Twitter and things like that, I think it's in my best interest, like, not to associate with you anymore. And he said that he was disappointed, but it's understandable, and we just left it at that. He did it did kind of go on about how, oh, at the time I was in a bad state financially and mentally.
Every single goddamn time.
But he's still
face. And
he is still doing
put out
this
excuses,
today.
man.
Like, oh, it's bonus level. Bonus level made me this way.
Oh, I was manipulated. I was depressed, mentally it's the same drivel. Every single they all have a playbook. Every single one of them get this playbook from probably the same store, and they're like, get called out by friend, okay, blame mental health, blame my ex-wife, manipulation, yeah. It's like, come on, man, like, take accountability. And I'm gonna be saying that so many times, by the way. It's not even funny.
Like I said, he is still spewing the same dribble every single day.
Yeah.
But yeah, another thing he said was, my anger is only 1% of my personality if you ask anyone who actually knows me. Even at the time, like, bro, come on.
Listen, what you show to the people is what you are, you know, and unfortunately, if that's what most people are seeing, then unfortunately that's the definition the public has of you, you know, because you don't get to make the definition of who you are. That's up for the people to make.
Yeah. So, because I gotta say, like, Mr. Revo, you got me. Like, you manipulated me hard. I didn't catch on at the time that, like, your apologies were very not genuine. It was just full of blame deflecting, essentially.
I mean, to be fair, why would you, like, okay, I'm not gonna, like, think right away, oh, you're doing something, you're this nefarious asshole, and you're doing some crazy shit, but I don't have any proof. Nobody thinks like that. So when this whole thing happened, I didn't think, oh yeah, he's like the mastermind of this whole thing and blah 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 and whatnot. No, nobody thinks that way. So literally when you found out, it was like you got slapped in the mouth hard. It just came out of, it was like a sucker punch, really. It just came out of nowhere. It's like, ow. Like,
yeah.
And it's like for the, like, this is gonna sound like kind of weird, but trust me, it makes sense. If you're gonna manipulate, if you're gonna betray somebody, if you're gonna like break off a friendship for stupid reason, it better be like a crazy reason, like money or love or something dire and drastic, not reading articles, fucking Rockman Corner. What? It's like the pettiest shit ever. It's like, you lost a friend. Like, I'm not even I'm not even gonna I'm not even gonna gas you up or anything. It's like you just lost the most basic friendship for the stupidest shit ever. It's like, what is wrong with you? Why? And we'll never know the answer because Jesus Christ.
By the way, so after I put out my document on March 3rd, 2024, I actually did get a communication line going with bonus level, so I could hear their side of the story. I mean, this is unverified information. I don't know if it's true or not, so take it with a grain of salt. But their side of the story is that they didn't really have access to the account. They didn't have access to the document. Yeah, they didn't like me over things like petty things. They didn't like the way that my avatar is just a recolor of Mega Man, which is fair. I really don't care. That's perfectly valid, to be honest.
Welcome to the Sonic community.
But yeah, but that's the example they gave me. So yeah, the bonus didn't like me. A bonus did their fair share of bad things to me, but according to them, they didn't really do much in terms of the detractor account. And their theory as to what happened is that Prototwee what was the main mastermind behind the account. He was the original account creator. According to Prototwee, that was because bonus was complaining about me and my friends.
We're normal. I'm so sorry. Jesus Christ. I'll try to be weirder next time.
Yeah, and apparently Prototwee took that as oh, I gotta defend bonus level or something weird like that, and decided to do this whole hate campaign against me. And bonus level's theory of why Revo got involved is according to bonus, Revo was jealous of my following. And you might be thinking, because I was thinking about this too, why though? We have very similar follow accounts, at least before now. Well, you have to keep in mind, back in 2020, he had half my subscribers, and apparently there was this feeling of Revo felt like he put in more effort into his videos than I did, and he deserved a bigger following because of that. So he was feeling a bit jelly, and that's bonus's theory as to why Revo ended up helping with the account.
The way I see it, listen, it doesn't matter if you participated 1%, 10%, 50%, it really doesn't matter.
It's true.
All of you co-signed the other person's actions, no matter what. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You all knew about it. You all thought about it. It doesn't matter if you were manipulated into it, which I don't believe, by the way. That's my opinion. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna have these two co-sign that, but me personally, I believe that,
honestly,
you all felt the same way. You just want the excuse.
We have a former in real life friend that testified that he overheard Prototwee and Revo verbally talking about harassing me. if you were manipulated into this, why would you be talking about this at MagFest? It don't make sense.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. Oh my god. Again, you guys don't co-sign for this. This is just me and me only. But this Proto-Twy guy is like the biggest cocksucker ever. Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Yeah, I know this video is like mostly about Revo, but that Proto-Twy guy, he's also a sneaky jerk.
He plays a big part in all of this.
No, he does. He's
he does.
He's like Revo's
Yeah,
biggest dick rider. Like I'm not gonna fucking sugarcoat that. Yeah, he's a part of it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I keep saying this all every time that I get a chance. Like that fella right there is just he's just a little freaking puppet. Like playing all sides, juggling the blame between him, Revo, bonus level, and whatnot. And from at the end of the day, this is a freaking internet. You're held accountable of your own actions, nothing more.
Yeah, basically.
Like I respect wanting to move away from it and be like, yeah, I did that bad thing, and you don't even have to apologize at this point because like, what the fuck's that gonna do? It's not gonna do anything. But yeah.
Okay, I'll give him credit. I thought his apology was like miles better than Revo's, because
hell, there's literally no real Revo apology right now, if anything.
no, there isn't. Like he apologized, quote unquote, but it's more like, oh, Bonus did it, Proto-Twy did it.
Yeah, it's
I'm sorry that you guys feel that way.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, completionist.
But yeah, Proto-Twy's apology seemed like miles better. So like at first when I made my document, I censored his name because like, I was gonna respect that. That changed though.
Yeah, because I mean the way now the way I see it is like, yeah, he just had a silver tongue, really. Like there was like,
yeah, like, that's like his biggest thing. Like he has the biggest of silver tongues.
Sweet. Ugh.
But about Proto-Twy, this is how I figured out. Like, well, I mean, I already suspected it before then, but this is when it was like officially confirmed that Revo was lying about his involvement with the Saved You a Click SR account. Proto-Twy gave me the full breakdown of the entire incident, and I'll even sit here and read it word by word. This is also in my document if you want to read along. But Proto-Twy says, I'll just tell you my whole plan. My plan was to appear as a generic troll, get put in the holodom, then bring attention to the holodom. But I needed to it in some grand manner that would get me eyes. Yes, so there are typos. So I came up with devaluing your main video series of a Saved You a Click account and accuse you of parroting. I wanted to piss you off. People don't think clearly when angered, but it was also misdirection. I wanted you to start preparing how to deal with a parroting accusation. By the way, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
Then I pivot 90 degrees, post a document calling you out once you've given me all the eyes I wanted, leaving you with no plan and scrambling to deal with the real accusation I wanted to make. Excuse me. Parroting was still thrown in there a little more to keep you a little angry. Twitter account was also chosen so he couldn't control the narrative by banning me in the Discord server. Behind the scenes, it was myself, Bonus, and Twitch, aka Revo. The idea originally formulated, we were on a random Discord call, and Bonus was complaining about you for some reason. Probably something art related, I do not actually remember. And they mostly, Bonus helped with some replying to your Twitter DMs, but ultimately you only spoke with me. And I think Twitch, aka Revo, was also kind of eyes on you for me, as he had a better way to see what you were doing than I did. I came up with a lot of the ideas during that Discord call and started working on it without either of their knowledge. It was only after I had done most of the work that they got involved. All the planning was my brainchild. And then like this is the part where like if I thought before that Revo was lying to me, this is the proof right here. So Twitch's only real contribution that I can remember was assisting me in gathering data from the Hall of Dumb for the document and explaining why making fun of them was bad. The goal of the document was to make you look like as much of an a-hole as I could and make any defense you can muster be less effective. As the play-by-play. So yeah, no, he didn't just know about it. He was gathering data and trying to like help out with this document by telling him why certain things was bad. There it is. But you know, it's like TGP said, it doesn't matter if it's 1% or 100%. Like, he's still just as guilty, if not more.
Yeah, you co-signed it. It's like people getting into car loans, you know? Even if the other person doesn't get involved in it, if the main person disappears, you're responsible, no matter what. So it's like, you signed it. And they basically all signed it. They can take away responsibility as much as they like, but at the end of the day, you were there. You co-signed it.
At this point, it really doesn't matter what exactly he did. My takeaway is he's lying to me, like, to my face.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
And that's when I'm like, well, I'm glad I disassociated from him right before this.
Well, that's definitely like very insightful when it comes to like finding out the whole reasoning why the SRCX side of things doesn't want to associate with Revo anymore. And you know, it makes a lot of sense. There's like a lot of crap onto it. But moving.
Well, hold on. Okay, I know. Like we are gonna get to other stuff soon, but thing is, Mr. Repid Revo has actually made his own public statements about me.
Oh, that's true.
In response to all this, we actually do need to like discuss this.
Yeah.
Oh, then by all means cover it.
All right. So here I have some screenshots that are from his Discord server. This was like March 20th, 2024. So this is like after all the grooming allegations came out and all this stuff. Like, you know, he's basically getting cooked by all these people on this Discord server. And at one point, among many other things, my situation gets brought up as well. So I'm just going to kind of read through it and then I'll just give you my thoughts. So we're going to start with, so Geo says, not all of it was false, implies that you indeed did have suspicious interactions with minors. I think your Twitter's still on private. Rockman HQ says, the Shadowrock situation has no minors involved. That's besides the point. The Shadowrock situation is just the tip of the iceberg. And moving on, we do get Mr. Repid Revo's like first response to this. He says, I was barely involved in that to begin with, but yes.
Pew! Deflect, baby.
I was barely involved. Got him.
PA right there.
Powerful PA. My God. We keep going.
Yeah, so Echo CEO Zero follows up with, no, you were involved. Yeah, so Echo goes on to post my own document, which again will be in the description. You can read it yourself.
Yeah.
And Revo's reply is, I proofread a document a friend of mine made about Shadowrock, and he's talking about Prototwi. He proofread a document made by Prototwi, made about Shadowrock, but Revo did not participate in the usage of the account which posted it. Oh, no, you don't say.
Still, like,
dude, throat goat. That's what he is.
of course, like even if you didn't participate, like why would you? You got your fucking puppet to do it for you, so
It's true.
Yeah.
Like he was literally letting Prototype do his dirty work for him. He didn't have to get his hands dirty.
yeah.
He could just operate from the shadows, which he did.
I'll pet your head every once in a while. Just go do my bidding, please. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. But he goes on to say, it was a campaign started by my ex and a friend, and I was caught between them.
Oh no! Oh man!
Oh no! No!
Oh my
they made
God.
me do it. I can't
God.
believe
This
it.
guy,
I
not
was,
this guy
I was
juggling his
manipulated in
responsibility
doing
again.
it. Oh god, dude, my mental health, bro, it wasn't good. Oh, come on, dude. He'd make a terrible accountant because the amount of accountability this guy would take doesn't exist. Zero.
Even
Negative.
before all this guy needed like a PR specialist just
I
to
wasn't,
get
I
him to
wasn't
shut
in
up.
my right mind. These people manipulated me. My actions weren't my own.
I swear.
For that, I swear, bruh. Come on, bruh.
I'm the good guy, man. I'm the good guy. Ugh.
Yeah, and you know, Twitch goes on to say, I was complicit in that I did not make Shadowrock aware of it. Which is like the same thing he told me. So that's nothing new.
Yeah. It's funny.
He said, I was not prepared to sacrifice my marriage, quote unquote, because full disclosure, they were never officially married. They didn't complete the paperwork to get married. They had a ceremony, but not the paperwork. But yeah, he was not prepared to sacrifice his marriage or terminate his friendship to do so.
Yeah, about that.
Otherwise, I had nothing to do with it.
I had nothing to do with it.
You
Slam
see-
dunk, mic drop.
You see, I wouldn't sacrifice my friendship, because I value those. Ignore the other parts where I did that exact thing. You didn't see anything. By the way, how old are you? Oh god, I'm not holding bars. I don't give a shit, man. Like, I have no respect for the guy. So
Yeah.
Who in the right mind would have respect for this thing, you know?
the throat goat, known as Prototype. That's who. Respect, man.
Throat goat.
Uh,
Oh my
yeah, I was like, bro, this is your goat? Well, good luck with that, I guess.
Oh my god! Like, listen, I understand that everyone, like, every single person has a fan in some way, shape, or form. EDP445 has a fan in some way, shape, or form. I don't know how, but he does. So it doesn't surprise me that Repid Revo still has fans and defenders to this very day, because that's just the nature of the internet. But
Yeah.
how? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm perfect by any
No,
means
neither am
necessary.
I.
Like,
Hey, you know, it was a legitimate concern that started this, but man, boy, could it have been handled a better way.
like I at least think I'm a decent person, but what the fuck, man? Like, this is who you side again. This is your GOAT right here. He's the greatest of all
Listen.
time. I don't know, man.
Listen, like going over the fact that, you know, nobody's perfect and all that stuff. Like, of course, like none of us right here present at the moment in this voice chat are perfect at all. Like, TGP's not perfect, Shadowrock's not perfect, I am not perfect. But the truth is that, you know, the entirety of the human population, for the most part, will never, like, in their entire lifetime, do half the things this guy has, you know, pretty much done in the internet, you know?
I'll say this. I may not be perfect, but at least I am not being involved in targeted anonymous harassment of another content creator just because I don't like them.
That's honestly just the tip of the iceberg.
That's just like such a low blow. Such a low blow.
He just threw sand in your eyes. That's all he did.
Yeah.
And yeah,
but
it gets
I
worse,
just
by the
wanna-
way.
Yeah, it does. But I want to reiterate, like,
Worse.
we were collabing at this time. I thought he was my friend at this time, but he was doing all this stuff behind my back the whole time. And that video still came out. The Mega Man Award still came out later that year. I had no idea. No idea. None of this did. But yeah, that's what he was doing. But anyway, getting back to the screenshot, Gio says, but Shadow says otherwise. Like how the people put this emoji. So here we go. This is about to start off another train of thought. But Twitch says, aka Revo says, the Solar Boy Aaron incident, which may or may not be in that document, as I haven't read it. Wait, what?
We
Didn't read it.
We didn't. What?
It's like,
Well, that's number one. It's like you didn't even fucking read it. You didn't have your fucking dick sucker read it either. Like, come on, bro.
Well, see, I'm gonna stop here because I'm not even sure if that's even true. Because not too long after my document came out, Prototoy started hitting me up. And that's just the reason why I'm not censoring his name anymore, is because he hit me up and he's like, actually, I remember now. All Revo did was proofread the doc. Which is the same thing he's saying here. So I guess that's their new story now, so that's cool. But wow, you guys are dicks. So yeah, I don't care anymore. Thanks for changing your story and making you look even more sus.
yeah.
Daddy wasn't happy with me, so I had to change the story to make him look better. Sorry.
Also, this is like Revo addressing. Like, notice how poorly he addresses like the people in his own Discord server. Which, by the way, like as of today, that Discord server of his, like, it has almost nobody on it.
I have a special segment for that for the Discord server. We'll get to that in more detail.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and finish off the statement here. So yeah, he hasn't read my doc apparently, but was also because of my ex. Yeah, okay. So basically, he's saying that the Solar Boy Aaron incident, which I haven't explained yet, I will, was also because of his ex, and his ex has an irrational hatred of whoever that user is, which led to further friction between myself and Shadowrock. I don't know why he feels that I was more involved, because I was not. Well, if you read the doc, you would know. I divulged everything to him in private already, which is not true. He didn't divulge everything, and that's the entire point. And the user behind the account also came forward and took responsibility. Yeah, I guess. But that's just wild to me. I don't know why he feels that way, but I'm not gonna read the doc to find out.
Dude, he was writing his statement, bro. Let him cook. Let him cook.
It's like this fella doesn't have like any spine whatsoever. Like he doesn't even bother checking his sources when it comes to like giving out statements or anything like that.
He doesn't even check his own sources, bro.
He doesn't even check his own sources.
No. Like, you know what this tells me? Because for clarification, before this point, he put out a thing on Twitter where he says, that some of it was like, okay, he said that he's like seeing all the allegations, and he says that not all of it is untrue. And I was like, bro, really? But then he goes on to say, but not all of it is being presented accurately either. So he is going to prepare this big statement to provide the full context of everything. But then he goes and tells us, I didn't read Shadowrock's doc. Well, how are you going to provide context then? I guess you're more focused on your ex in that case. That's what that tells me. Like, his ex is his favorite scapegoat of all time.
Man.
Honestly, yeah.
There is a little bit more to this. So Revo said, I was not involved in any Shadowrock related incidents outside of proofreading a single document written by someone else. And he says, as I said, all will be revealed when I make my response.
Let him cook!
Let him cook, bro.
At this rate, a new Mega Man game will come out before that said statement.
Yeah. As of this recording, we've been waiting a month for him to cook. This must be like the most epic meal of all time.
Bro, he's cooking. Let him cook, bro. Let him cook.
For quick context, for those who are curious about this statement of his, and why is it so like weird that he hasn't posted it already? Like, this fella has been like juggling around in his community, like attempting to save face by responding to people individually in there. Like, people at this point, like, clearly were joining that server to pretty much screw with him, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, pretty much poke the hornet's nest, or so to speak, to see what sort of reactions they will get from it. Because of course, anything that comes out of that guy's mouth at this point will pretty much be used against him. So yeah, Revo's focus right now, or by then, at the time when his Discord server was still, you know, a Discord server, like, his focus was pretty much going around, saving face, arguing with people online in the Discord, as well as, you know, editing old documents on people that have been considered, that he considers his detractors of sorts. And the funniest part of them all, from like deleting tweets. Oh my god, my favorite.
Oh, we're gonna get into a lot of this in detail, but yeah, oh my god, this like, I'm innocent, guys. Don't mind me to bleed, but I'm too innocent. I promise.
Yeah.
That's basically what this is like. Oh, it was them.
This is just in case you guys go ahead and like try to investigate this guy. Like, you won't get access to his Discord server, or if you do, like, it won't be what you're looking for. And if you try accessing his Twitter, like, the posts will be protected. You won't find anything there either.
Yeah, that did happen.
So like, yeah, at this
halfway
point,
through
the sources are pretty much all external.
Right. Yeah, like all this stuff is, I'm not even in his server. Like, this is stuff that people are posting on Twitter. You know?
Yeah.
It is true. There are a lot of people keeping tabs.
And you know what? That does make a great segue into the Solar Boy Aaron incident that Mr. Repid Revo touched on here. So, you know, we were just talking about how we basically got all of our info on this guy externally, because I've never stepped foot in the server, not once. But I didn't have to be in the server to keep hearing about his Aberrant Unit's public Discord channel. This was a channel where it was basically his personal blacklist of users that he's banned, and he's got like entire reasonings of why they were banned, all their aliases, a screenshot of their profile. Like, this is like a wanted sign on a public Discord server.
His own personal naughty list.
Basically, the very thing that he criticized Shadowrock and Crew for, he also had, but tenfold.
Oh, the irony.
Really makes you think.
So that's cool. So It's funny because this was part of the reason why my own wife was telling me not to collab with him, because a couple of her friends were on this aberrant units list, and literally our first conversations together was me trying to negotiate, like, okay, why are they on the aberrant units list? Like, what do they do? And he made like giant paragraphs. Oh, they did all this stuff. Like, okay, I guess. So yeah, that was like my wife's deal of him at the time. But like I said, we kind of solved that already. But the Aberrant Units channel came up again when, unfortunately, it turns out this user named Solarboy Aaron shares a strikingly, in fact, an identical username with one of our own moderators here on Shadowrock CX.
Yeah. Who's also called the Solar Boy Aaron at that time. And as a result of the whole ordeal, like, he's permanently changed his name to Sol Takeru Kameya as a result. So let's refer to him as just Takeru in this
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what happened is there's this user named Solarboy Aaron that was harassing Repid Revo and bonus level. And as I came to find out later, like much later, it wasn't until recently actually, but apparently this user's harassment caused bonus level to want to, so
do the deed.
Do the deed. So that's really bad.
Yeah.
And that's an important detail for later. So what happened is Repid Revo made an Aberrant Units like little post about Solarboy Aaron, detailing like all that they did and such. The problem is the screenshot he posted was of our boy Takeru.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time immediately, like in our mod chat, I was seeing screenshots of Maruna Stellar hitting us up like, "What's going on? Like, why is one of your mods on the Aberrant Units list?"
Like the what?
Like, what?
We were absolutely confused and completely flabbergasted about it. Like, I remember that exact same day, Shadowrock Jack, that you came to me, because like, yes, the whole reason why our Takeru ended up being in our mod list was because I brought him into it. So like, you were confused about this, and I was like, hold on a second, this has to be a mistake.
Yeah,
And then like our Aaron, like our Takeru, like he's a wonderful human being. Like,
He's
a great
amazing
person. He wouldn't hurt a freaking fly.
Yeah, he stayed in his lane, and he was very respectful. And to all of a sudden hear that. And by the way, I'm pretty sure this is my very first interaction or very first introduction to Repid Revo. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. Great.
Yeah.
Great first impressions.
I think that was the case for like a lot of the mods.
Yeah.
Like in our mod chat at the time, it was like, oh, there's this Mega Man YouTuber who has this blacklist of people, and now our mod is on it for some reason.
Hell, imagine the guy waking up, and he's like, "What's going on, guys? Hey guys, how you doing?" And all of a sudden it's like,
And that's
You're on
like
this list.
literally what happened. That's literally what happened to GP, because like, so Takeru is in the French time zone.
yeah,
At the time this whole thing was happening, like, Takeru was sleeping.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Like he wasn't
Absolutely.
there to respond at the time.
He had like absolutely no idea. So like, we had to like clarify this whole ordeal. Like, we found out about it, and then we went to Takeru later in order to clarify that whole thing. And I remember that day waiting about 7 to 6 hours waiting for him to respond, because like, I was absolutely terrified. mostly because of the fact that, like, he's a great friend of mine, like one of the greatest friends I've ever had.
Oh yeah.
And just to hear this happen out of the nowhere, like, I was terrified. So we ended up clearing things out. It was completely innocent, and it just so happened that Revo had the wrong guy this whole time.
Yep.
Are you telling me that Revo is a dumbass? I would have never thought. Would have never thought.
Man, that's crazy.
Well,
Yeah, I ended up hitting him up like, dude, we need to talk. Like, what's going on here? Why is our mod on your list? And he's like, yeah, I got the wrong guy. I'm gonna fix it immediately. Like, cool.
he did. Thankfully.
Yeah, he did. Like, to his credit, he did, and I do appreciate that. But like a little bit later, the discussion went in the direction of, I used to have a channel called The Hall of Dumb that was a little bit similar, where people's names are out there for everybody to see, and honestly, I'm not even aware of like anyone like going after anyone in my Hall of Dumb at the time. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember anything like that.
I don't think anything came up.
Nothing ever came out of it.
Yeah, nothing came up to my knowledge.
But I think when it was brought to the attention, I think something was going to happen. But it was quite mild, and it was squashed pretty early on anyways. So it wasn't super... There was no Solo Boy Aaron incident, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
This is pretty much something that happened at closed doors.
That's kind of why, like, it's kind of like the Saved You a Click SR doc was missing some context, because I provided no context, to be fair.
And the other thing as well, to clear things up, so you mentioned the entirety of what the list is, his list essentially, but all ours were just comments from YouTube videos. They weren't necessarily they're banned, let's make fun of the guy. No, they were just stupid comments on
that. Like, the only user I could think of that was on that Hall of Dumb that was banned was a user that had actually stolen content from my YouTube channel and re-uploaded it to theirs.
Yes,
and that was like something that the Saved You a Click SR doc was missing, that like this particular user actually stole content from me, and that's why I didn't put him in the best of light. Stuff like that. But anyway, I was telling Revo about how I've learned the hard way from like a channel I used to have, that like putting people's names out there and like documenting like everything they did. I never did that myself. Like we were just saying, all I did was post silly comments. But Revo over here was legit like, they did this and da 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 da. And I told him like, I don't think that's a good idea. Like, ever since from the very beginning of our friendship, I've been hearing about like users like kind of getting blacklisted from the community because of this list, and users like harboring very negative feelings towards Revo because of them essentially having a target on their back.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
I
was just gonna say, like, so I'm not necessarily against with like if a user gets banned in the server, I'm not against documenting them, because just to keep in mind, like, this is what this person did, this is why they got banned, and then whatnot. But I wouldn't make it public. I wouldn't like that. That's just for our record keeping.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not like go ahead.
Just to make it clear, like, we are not against documenting bad users in general. That's like actually like a pretty normal thing for moderators to do, just to like for communication's sake. But the problem was he put it out there for everyone to see.
It was like a
It was
kind of like a
parade
wanted
of-
poster in the forum. It was like, oh, this is what this guy did. Make fun of him, things like that.
It was kind of like, the way I see it, like it was kind of like a parade of dead bodies put out there for the public to see, just in order to like inflate his non-existent ego even further. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. It was definitely. It's definitely an ego move. It was definitely
Like his excuse for doing something like that would be like, you know, we gotta set an example in order for people to not repeat the things that these people did in the server.
if you do that thing, your name's gonna be on there, bitch.
Yeah, like people were legit scared that like if I misbehave or even if I disagree with Revo on like Mighty Number 9 or Inafune, I'm going to end up on that list too.
And,
I'd be on
you
that
know,
list.
The way and the, you know, going over the aberrant unit document again, like the way he redacted that thing, it was so freaking laughable. Like, you will see the most childish way for a freaking, I don't know how old was he at the time, but let's say he was over 28 years old. It was like it was like expressing himself in such immature ways, like using all sorts of profanity in order to make things as personal as possible with all of with all of the people that he put in that naughty list of it. And you know, it's funny enough because like at the beginning of the document you see that, hey, this document's purpose is not to publicly shame anybody, but then you scroll down that whole thing and
That's true.
That's precisely what it does. That's
he made it very personal. It wasn't just like, you know, legal speak. Oh, this user, this incident happened. This user, no, this is like, this user did this to me and it hurt me and my wife and all this stuff.
It hurt my feelings. Get him.
Listen, we normally document stuff like in our server, because like we want to keep track of the people that we have.
But yeah, I think I can kind of take over the conversation a little bit. So yeah, so essentially the reason why we document people who are banned and whatnot is because, well, they were problematic and whatnot. So we just want to make sure that the person is in our records, just to, because we also like to know like how many people do we ban per year, per month, things like that. And then not to mention, there are such things as ban evaders. So like
True.
the person can just, I mean, let's just face it, the person can just come back easily with a whole new identity and whatnot. But the hardest thing to change is human habit and human characteristics like that. So if you have like a particular characteristic that you do in particular, whether it be consciously or subconsciously, it's going to come up. So if we somehow recognize you, then all of a sudden, you know,
Excuse me, like a 5,000 ping moment right there, and I was clearly cut out.
Oh man, you ain't kidding.
Yeah, Jesus, holy moly. Yeah, I was kind of just you go ahead and finish, but I was just kind of explaining the reason why. So go ahead and explain your reason as well.
What was the last thing that I said?
You were going to explain why we document the,
like, we document
banned
that stuff. We document stuff about banned users and all that stuff because we normally don't want stuff like, because like raids in the internet are perfectly possible, and people posting like not safe for work material out there just for the sake of posting it, as well as scam links. Like, you want to keep out of all of that stuff from your own personal community if you were ever to have one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why it's important to keep track of all of that stuff.
I see it's just a way to like keep the mods informed, like make sure everyone is on the same page about things that happen. Because you know, like someone might get kicked out of the server or YouTube or something, but everyone else don't know what happened. So it's just like the way of making sure like everyone's aware of what's going on.
It could be a situation where, let's just say, Scrimblio Bimblio gets banned for being a jackass to mods and whatnot, and we don't have any documentation at all. And then Scrimblow Bimblow comes back like years later, but at that point we have like an entirely brand new mod team, and it a long time took place that, you know, we don't remember, because we're human. We're not going to remember everything perfectly clear. So to document it, you have like an actual like a ledger to go back to and be like, okay, this is why this person. It's basically a giant reminder as to what happened, why it happened, in case it ever does come up.
Trust me, it's happened many times that I forgot on like, what did this user do again?
Yeah,
it happens to me all the time. Like,
ban invaders is the biggest one, where if somebody tries to like come back through like an entirely different account, but then they somehow expose themselves, and you're like, hold up, who's this person actually? And then we actually find out, oh, they're this person. Oh, get out.
yeah, like all of that stuff is like really important, considering that, well, you know, this server has existed for like what, 8 years now, almost 8 years.
Just about.
So like it's impossible to like just remember everybody.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
again, it's all private. It's only
Exactly.
mods and ups can see. It's not a list to make fun of people by any means necessary. Hell,
Oh.
the only thing we really put down is who they were, why they got banned, and then like the message or messages that was put out of like the offending action.
We're not over here like, oh, he said that Neo is a bad gamer, get him. No, we're just like, this is, you know, here's like documentation of what occurred, you know, the offense that occurred, and there you go. That's it. Like,
You know, listen, it ticks me off when people do say that I'm a terrible player, which, you know, I am indeed a terrible player. I'm not gonna lie. But, you know, you don't say those things out loud, bro. But then again, I'm not gonna do anything about it.
It is the internet. At the end of the day, they're gonna say things no matter what.
yeah, like,
I'm not gonna do anything about it. You dare say that to Revo? Well, he will unleash the freaking templates.
yeah. If you haven't noticed by now, Revo hates to be challenged. Like, he will get into heated arguments with you over anything, whether it be lore or gaming or pretty much anything.
No,
He's a narcissist. He wants
Yeah,
everything
he
to,
really is.
he wants everything to like spin around him and to revolve around him at all times.
the world basically
And-
revolves around him.
Yeah, so like on that point that he doesn't like to be challenged, you know, just take a wild guess what happened when I brought up my feelings about his Aberrant Units channel. But yeah, so while I am in the middle of explaining all this, I brought up as the biggest example, like, my moderator ended up on it by mistake. Like, that can happen to other people too, and then it just causes a big old ruckus, and people getting the wrong idea and things like that. It's just weird, man. And I remember Revo at the time said, "Well, that doesn't count." Basically, like, it's not a good enough reason for me to take down the channel. Basically, is what he said. I'm like, what do you mean? But whatever.
Sure, channel.
So like, kind of at the tail end of this conversation, suddenly, Repid Revo says, "Oh, so yeah, my wife was watching this conversation unfold, which was a private DM, by the way. Like, it didn't even involve them." Okay. Yeah, his wife was watching this, and now she feels uncomfortable because apparently I am downplaying what the malicious Solar Boy Aaron did. When did I say anything about Solar Boy Aaron? I was talking about Takeru, my mod. I'm trying to defend his honor over here, and you're over here trying to say that I'm talking about this other user. I have no idea what they did.
Look,
Okay.
call me an asshole. Don't co-sign this, but that's just a person outright looking to be a victim in any way, shape, or form. They wanted to make it all about themselves. Because, unfortunately, I have seen that type of behavior too many times. It's like, bro, this is literally an A-B conversation, and you just turn into a C conversation for absolutely no reason. Like, what are you doing? Like,
So, just for full transparency, like I said, I've had a word with Bonus about this behind the scenes, like very recently, last couple weeks, and apparently it was all a misunderstanding. Revo, see, the thing about Bonus is like they talk through other people all the time, mostly their significant other. So in this case, Revo was her significant others, so Bonus talked through him, and that means during all this, Revo is the middleman, and he can say whatever he wants, essentially.
yeah.
So, like, you know, their theory is like Revo was kind of making it look like I hate Bonus and Bonus hates me, back and forth. But yeah, we kind of cleared it up. Like, it was like a misunderstanding that happened, a very unfortunate misunderstanding that caused a fallout between us for many years, at least a couple years.
Whoops.
But yeah. So after that whole thing ended, fast forward like a month. This is like April of 2021, I believe, and I saw this tweet from Repid Revo promoting like this light capsule artwork thing that Bonus had on their store. So I was like, oh, that looks neat. I'm gonna check it out. Oh, apparently I'm blocked by Bonus level.
Huh.
I guess I'm not buying it after all.
Huh, I guess that wasn't a misunderstanding. Whoops.
So that's when I go back to Revo and say, you know, what's going on here? I thought we cleared this up. Apparently we didn't. So Revo once again is like, oh, they feel uncomfortable about you in general and things you said. And essentially he makes like an ultimatum, like, bro, you should apologize just because it's the right thing to do.
Oh, that's like the easiest thing.
Apologize for what?
Like, God forbid, like, you do something wrong, you better apologize, put down a statement. I'm gonna need like a 5-paragraph essay as to what you did wrong, why you did it, and then you have to take it back. Otherwise, our friendship's over, bro. But don't ask me to do that, because no, that's too hard, bro. Can't do it.
So I immediately took this as like basically Revo trying to get an apology out of me, so that he could say that I did do something wrong. Well, I think I did say like sorry you feel that way, essentially, but when he kept egging me on for like an actual apology about whatever it is they alleged I said, which was like, I guess that I was downplaying what Solar Boy Aaron did to Bonus. I said, bro, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm out of here.
Just to be clear, you didn't know what he did at that, like Solar Boy Aaron did to Bonus level at that time?
No, I didn't. I had maybe a vague idea just based on the aberrant units listing, but I just skimmed it, bro. I didn't actually read the whole thing.
Yeah, so it's like, so you feel uncomfortable, but you won't say why. But you want me to apologize for something that I supposedly did, but you won't tell me why. So
well,
it's like,
I see. I didn't find out until like last week.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. It's like you didn't know what happened. Like, you didn't know the true purpose of that whole situation until 2024, years later after the fact. So It's like, okay, you didn't know. and you didn't
Like-
say anything. So it's like, what the
Well, I
fuck do you
found-
want me to do?
Yeah, I didn't find out until like last week that the misunderstanding happened because like there was a lot of feelings towards this Solar Boy Aaron user because there was a Sudoku attempt over it. You know, I didn't know that, but yeah, that's the thing where if I had gotten to just talk to Bonus directly and not using Revo as a middleman, maybe it would have gone better, but I didn't even have that chance, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is like a thing that we can always hypothesize about, but we'll just never know. It could have been
will
better.
never know.
But yeah, it's the whole thing was just so weird. It's like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Revo was like, oh yeah, he's like downplaying your thingy, by the way. So yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, like the red flags were waving the moment he started bringing up his wife
Yeah.
in the middle of the conversation. Like, why would you do that? Like, at the time, I had no idea what they had to do with this because I wasn't even talking about Solar Boy Aaron. I was
Yeah.
talking about Hikaru.
Pretty much, you know, it was like, and the way it was delivered, it was so weird at the time because like, we're like, hey, we dealt with the whole thing. We will not be confusing your guy with our guy, and for next time we'll keep that in mind. But please do not downplay what our guy did to Bonus level back then. Like,
Honestly,
we have gone through
it's
a
so
lot of trauma because
confusing.
of that, and it's like, what? What does that have to do with anything? We were just asking you to not publicly defame one of our fellow staff members.
And that's the thing too. I do want to say we're not downplaying what happened to Bonus by any means necessary, because that's a very serious thing.
Anyway, you know, as a general statement, like
Yeah.
I don't want anybody going after Bonus or anything because they did go through a lot of harassment and many unspeakable acts during their relationship with Revo. So like I don't want to downplay any of that because it was, yeah, it's pretty bad.
Don't charge up any memories either. Like just keep them out of it. But yeah, that's like the whole thing. It's like basically they wanted you to apologize for something that you didn't do, and that's definitely one thing that people need to learn how to do. They need to stop apologizing for things they didn't do, because it's like, because in doing so, indirectly you're kind of admitting to guilt even though you didn't do it. So and I think that's what he wanted you to do. He wanted you to apologize for it, to justify, oh, so you did do something wrong, and then it'll be used against you in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. So you know, like I said at the end, I'm just like, yeah, you guys are ridiculous. Like, you know,
It's just
keep
not
me
even-
blocked. Bro.
It's just not even worth it at this point.
I literally said, keep me blocked if you want. Yeah. Like, I'm out. Like, I'm not interested in collabing or anything like that. I'm just gonna leave you in the dust because if you want to be like this, fine. Like, I'm gone. So I left it at that for yeah, it was like April of 2021 all the way until January of 2023. That was like the next time I ever talked to him again. Which is when I found out he was involved with Save to Click SR, so that's lovely.
Wonderful.
The bad impressions just keep on coming.
I haven't even get to like the really, really crazy parts of this whole situation.
I know, like, but yeah, that basically sums up what happened with me and him.
Yeah.
I know it took like 2 hours to explain it, but it was a lot of history, to be fair.
Yeah, it was like a lot of like dumb, like, but see, that's like the part that really bothers me about this whole, you know, about you especially, because like a lot of the things that he's done to like other people, we're gonna get to in due time, but it's like a lot of the things that he did with you, there were so many different steps and opportunities where it could have been avoided. Like, it, like, there were so many avoidable opportunities where, like, it couldn't, it shouldn't have ever reached this. Literally, he stumbled on purpose to this point where it's like, I no longer want to be friends with you. And that's what baffles me the absolute most, is like, he outright just ceased a friendship for the pettiest reasons of all time.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, it's just all a bunch of petty acts.
Yeah, like he blackmailed you, he backstabbed you, but it was all preventable. All of it was preventable, and that to me is like the saddest thing of the whole thing.
Because like, you know, let it be known, when we first started interacting, like there was a time when I legit wanted to be his friend. I wanted to kind of like not ignore, but like I just wanted to just judge him based on my own interactions with him. And I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I wanted to like help him be a better person along the way as a friend. And well, I you know, I tried, because like many times I've always been there like, yeah, that wasn't cool, man. You probably shouldn't have done that. I probably shouldn't have sugarcoated it as much as I did at the time, but you know, at the time we were basically friends. So that was natural.
Yep. And he just tossed it with the greatest of ease.
Yeah, he like from the word go. That's the crazy part to me. It's like from the word go, he already had thrown it away. It was just us like having a fallout was just a delayed reaction, if anything.
Yep. And it was just it's just sad, really, because it's like, I mean, me personally, right, obviously you can't be friends with everybody. It just doesn't work that way. But you know, you want to be like, at least have a positive relationship with anybody you encounter, right? Especially if you're in the same space, like you guys do Mega Man content. Like, why fight each other when you can, you know, work together and collab and do other cool stuff? And there's other YouTubers and Megatubers and whatnot who have done just that. But
like, sure, like I'll even admit, I sometimes get a little envious of other creators as well, because you know, I've been on YouTube for like 15 years now, and I only have 40k subs, or was it like 45k or 48k? Okay.
No. Let me double check. Actually, hold on.
So it goes to show how much I pay attention to this.
Spreading misinformation around.
48.6k. Let's just say that.
Yeah, 48.6.
But you know, it took 15 years to get there. So there has been times where I've been a little envious of like other creators, like even Revo, that he grew like so big in like a fraction of the time that I did.
Yeah,
and that's pretty impressive. But I never once thought about starting an entire campaign against someone because I was jealous, or like hit up someone like, oh, I'm jealous of you, and ha ha ha, I'm better than you. Like, no, that's petty. I never do that.
Yeah.
And I think like as a content creator, Mr. Revo had to give himself like better standards to follow. You can't be doing this to other content creators no matter what. It just makes you look incredibly bad, especially for your brand.
Yeah, well, let's just say his brand, or at least the things that he did to his brand, is like the least of his worries at this point. Because I do believe we're kind of done with going over the things that he did with you.
Yeah, for the most part.
So
no, we're done.
Yeah, like, I mean, there might be some things sprinkled here and there, but honestly, for the most part, that's basically it. And now let's get into the deep shit. The actual, like, kind of why we're even here to begin with. It's
like, if you thought all of this stuff was bad, like from somebody who wasn't a hypocritical narcissist, when you you're about to.
Yeah, like
You're in for one hell of a ride.
here's the thing. Yes, I kept this information secret for arguably years, but there's a reason, because it would have been kind of petty in itself for me to just come out with all this out of the blue without a very good reason. Like, you know, if it ever happened that Revo started talking crap about me, like for the most part, I've been ready to come out with this for a long time. I just didn't know like when was a good time to bring it up without looking like I was just trying to start drama.
Yeah.
Because you know, at the end of the day, it just comes down to he's a dick. That's basically it.
Oh. As we're about to learn, he's more than a dick.
Yeah. So that's when we start hearing about all this other stuff he's done as even worse than what we just described for the last couple hours.
I'm going to also preface this as well. I know there's like a bunch of people who truly believe this is actual fact, but I'm gonna stick by saying it's alleged until he's actually caught in 4K, because this is like absolute serious stuff. But in my personal humble opinion, while I can't truly 100% believe the stuff, I won't lie, considering the things that I've witnessed, the patterns I'm noticing, I believe it. And I'll definitely get more into that psychology and whatnot as time goes on. But
I guess for a general statement for me as well.
Yeah.
Like, I do believe that this stuff is actually happening because there's a clear pattern. Like, so many users coming out with things about him that just like paints a pretty solid picture of like who he is behind the scenes, that it's hard to deny at this point. But like, I also agree with TGP that like in a legal sense, he hasn't been caught in 4K with this stuff to the point like that he's going to jail or something. But it's definitely like a very problematic issue in this community that he is behaving this way. So yeah, go ahead, buddy, take it away.
So a tweet came out, and this tweet didn't necessarily get very much traction, but it was just kind of put out there, and it'll be in the screen for you guys can see. So just to confirm with you guys, this happened in February 20th. This was actually a quote tweet of somebody who had said, Repid Revo meeting Kyle Rittenhouse 20XX digitized, and it's just a picture of two guys, right? But this person quote tweeted, and he had said, I might get a lot of flack for this, but I'm tired of being quiet about it. Revo was sexually weird to me in DMs. I'm so glad that people realize how awful he is as a human being. Like, this is scratching the surface of things he's done, honestly. And I wish I can say how much the detraction was here, but it got some attention, but it didn't get like a widespread attention as like how it is now. But it was something that did come out. I don't even think he commented on it at the time.
Oh, you mean the thing from like the first allegation that came out?
Yeah, the very first. I don't even think Repid Revo like knew at the time that this came out.
He did.
He did. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
He actually did put out a little statement about it. Basically, this is actually from his own server, but he called this stuff baseless accusations, and that this wouldn't be the first time that users started to make stuff up about him in order to defame him.
Oh boy, if only you will have like, if only he will see all the stuff that will later come to him.
Yeah,
like,
so
let's say it's like up front.
So my whole thing about whenever people bring out like allegations like this, especially to this magnitude, if you're gonna bring something like this this bad out, just like if you're gonna accuse somebody of something this heinous, you kind of have to come out swinging hard. You can't just like say that he did this to you and then not really provide very much. And they did provide some things here and there, but it wasn't like enough to like really make you think, damn, like I can kind of see that. And that's how it kind of started off at first, like at least the way I witnessed it. People were saying things here and there, but they weren't like, I guess I don't even want to say concrete, but like it basically did feel like he said she said at the so he actually did have some merit, where it's like this can be baseless, but at the very same time I wouldn't outright ignore somebody saying something like this and be like, I'd question it, you know. I'd be like, that's a pretty big thing to say. Let's talk about it.
Right. Yeah. Like that's the whole issue, right? It's a very, very serious accusation. Like so serious that he could be put in jail if it's true. But serious accusations require serious proof, and if you can't provide that, it's ultimately just going to be swept under the rug, and he'll totally get away with it because, yeah, like without proof, he can just say it's baseless and move on with his life.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then like the part that's, because here's the thing too, right? Like logically speaking, none of us are having these conversations with anybody, and the first thing that comes to our mind is maybe I should record those too. Maybe I can use this conversation years down the line, something like that. Nobody really thinks like that. Normally when you talk to somebody, especially somebody you kind of look up to, like a content creator, things like that, you're like in fangirl mode, you know. You're like, oh my god, it's you, oh, type deal. You're not record keeping that, really. You're just like, you're just there in the moment talking. You're like, wow, it's happy and blissful. So unfortunately, and you don't expect many people to have like concrete evidence, right? So if you come out swinging like this, you have now just given Repid Revo an opportunity to be like, oh shit, if I actually do have tracks, I better delete this stuff. Well, we'll get to that later. But now that I'm also here as well, so this tweet came out on February 20th, and it kind of just goes off on like other things as well. It kind of goes off like, I think the other thing that bothered me as well is they went on saying that he was like Revo said some sexually weird things to me, but then they kind of go talking about other things that he's done. Like they kind of go into like how much of a piece of shit he is. They kind of go into like his transphobia, his homophobia, things like that. So the entire time I was like, those are pretty bad things, don't get me wrong, but it's like, what does it have to do with sexually charged messages or even grooming? Because at one point he was even called a groomer, or even a, how do I say this word without
PDF file.
PDF file. There we go. And those are very powerful words. You cannot just.
By the way, you owe me $5 for that. for that term, you know. I just came up with it.
Unfortunately, it's become
put in my time.
Like one of those, what do you call them? Keywords.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Yeah, it's become those kind of words where it's so overused. It's so like it's lost its meaning. Racist is one of them. A Yahtzee, that's another one right there. It's just like people call each other these things so many times, but never actually use it correctly, that it just loses its meaning. So you can even look at it in that sense. But so as
go ahead. Another thing to kind of provide context to this, but before all this Revo stuff happened, there's been other content creators also getting outed for different things. You know, the completionist, Chugga Conroy. There, you know, years ago there was Pro Jared, who also was the subject of grooming allegations. So like at this point, we've seen this song and dance many times on the internet. And we were just kind of getting sick of it at this point, even before this Revo stuff came up.
And like I'll also be honest, the entire movement of Me Too happened as like that. Also, like it started off as like, oh, I believe the victim almost immediately, but then unfortunately there were some very bad actors who used that movement to essentially lie and make stuff up and even convince people of all these heinous things they did, but in actuality they never did that. So unfortunately, because of the lies and the liars out there, that it's kind of turned into there's a lot of skepticism. So normally when somebody comes out with something like this, you should not be surprised if somebody comes out and it's like, where's the proof, where's the evidence? Like, I mean, because to be honest, I'm kind of like that as well at this point, because it's like I've seen this happen day in and day out at this point, because I'm just kind of in the internet a lot. So it's like, do you have something to corroborate with it? And most of the time they just don't. And that's the sad part.
I think the Pro Jared situation was like the turning point for people getting sus of like any allegations coming out, because, you know, it turned out that the grooming part was untrue, that he proved it later on, but it wasn't like until months later. So that's when people were like, oh, well, maybe I should reserve judgment until actual proof comes out.
Hear both sides of the story, and that's one thing that people do not hear.
Both sides of the story, correct.
That is the one thing most people won't do. If they see one side of the story and if it's convincing enough, they will believe that one side. But then should the other side fire back with something even more convincing, then the tides will turn almost immediately. And you have seen that from time to time. So again, this is not me saying that this person is lying or anything, or I don't believe them, but you just throw out something serious. You have to provide something, anything, to be like, there's some credibility to that. And at that time, there really wasn't very much. But this tweet here was that small ember that eventually eventually spread like wildfire. And I believe, do you remember exactly when like it started getting bigger and bigger to the point where more and more people started coming out?
From my experience, because like I was actually watching stuff very closely the whole time, like ever since February 20th when I saw that first allegation, I was like watching it like, oh, like, you know, I want to get behind this, but I can't because there's just no proof.
Exactly.
I was like, yeah, Twitch is probably just gonna say it's baseless and get away with it, and he almost did. But I think the tides changed on February 29th when this user came out with a meme. And this is kind of a meme that gets used a lot in order to out people as pedos. But this meme was, oh, so this is where Repid Revo lives.
Yeah, so to give like a very... I don't even know if I can even play the clip. So this is where Revo lives. I groom minors! And basically the person was like, oh, he's a groomer. And yeah, like... So the thing with people wanting to come out is most of the time, actually all the time, you don't want to be that one person who comes out and then it turns out that you weren't as effective as you thought you were going to be. That's like the biggest fear, because you have to swing hard, because if you don't swing hard, you know, the person can actually get away. And fortunately this wasn't one of those cases. Do you happen to have the tweet where where it really started picking up? And then we'll even get to the tweets
I know
that
I posted it before.
Yeah, and then we'll even get to the parts where it really did pick up steam, and like that's when like it kind of went into I don't know. Revo might be right. This is pretty baseless too. Hold the fuck up.
There it is. I got it.
Yeah, so on February 29th, that's when the person's CEO or Phantozone posted the picture. And then that's when a person by the name of the Honorable Scary Larry had posted a tweet prior. Essentially, it kind of turned into the hub of like other allegations and statements that people were making. But it also didn't pick up very much steam. Like, it was just kind of there at that point.
Yeah, like
there wasn't very much merit.
If you look at that thread, he made a couple tweets on the 21st, but that was it until the 29th, which was the same day that meme came out.
Yeah,
that's when it blew up.
And that's the other thing as well is, again, he was called a groomer, but there wasn't very much to show. And the only thing this tweet even had was it mentioned how he followed a lolly artist, and then he even liked their stuff. And I'm gonna sound like I'm just gonna outright say it. It doesn't matter if a person consumes lolly art. You can find it disgusting, because I certainly do, but there is nothing wrong with consuming that kind of art. The worst we can do is raise our eyebrows and be like, that's a little sussy. But that's all we can really say at that point. And then afterwards, when when these allegations and whatnot started coming more and more and more, all of a sudden, now it sounds like the shoe fucking fits. And so when that meme came out, that's when more and more people were talking. And then as more and more people were talking, some statements eventually did come out. And yours kind of came out around the same time, kind of, sort of. Like, they started coming out like a little bit here and there.
It's like this is hyperbole, but that meme may have saved the community from this man almost single-handedly.
Unironically, because like it was basically like that spark that flame truly needed to really give people that push to say something.
It got people talking like, wait, he's a pedo? What?
That was like the snowball effect right there, and then.
Yeah, it was like the snowball that fell down the mountain, and then it turned into an avalanche in due time.
You really cannot underestimate the power of memes.
And so, this was the spark that people truly needed to come up with that courage and say something. Now, I'm gonna say this as well, because this has been an argument that has come up from, honestly, anytime any of these come up, whenever someone posts screenshots of like Discord messages and things like that, one of the first things people say is, oh, this is fake, this is Photoshop, this is I don't believe it, this is lark, whatever, right? They come up with all these excuses in the world to essentially discredit the victim. And to be perfectly honest with you, they might be, I don't know, but in my personal opinion, I wouldn't necessarily outright accuse somebody of doing that. I do believe in innocent until proven guilty, but I also am the person who, unless you give me a reason to, I don't outright just think you're a liar and just want to discredit somebody, like, or just like make up something to put someone down like that. So as these statements are coming up, you can feel skeptical all you want, but it's like, well, yeah, like, oh man, maybe they're right. That meme might have some credence to it, and that very first person who said something, damn, they might be onto something. And that's kind of what happened. It's like more and more people came out, they said their piece. A few artists came out, you came out, Some other people came out as well, and I'll like put the statements here and there. If you wanna, do you actually want to read them, or do you just want to just briefly go over them?
Well, a lot of them can just be summed up like
Yeah.
like basically what the vast majority of them paint the picture of is that Revo has a very unfortunate habit of flirting and saying sexual things to women, and some of them do include minors.
Yep.
Like 16 or 17.
Yeah. And at that point, that's when it's like, Again, this isn't like outright concrete proof that he is a groomer or
like,
pedophile.
It would be hard to prove that like he's like intentionally going after young girls, because the thing is, the Mega Man community, most of the people in this community are pretty young.
Yeah.
There's no getting around that.
Yeah, for sure. So all like, yeah, so there's like actual credence to this, and that's worrying. Like we can argue till the cows come home that legally speaking he won't go to jail, nothing will actually happen to him, and he can probably just move on to his merry day and just keep doing whatever, right? But you know, as a community, yeah, this is not something that should be allowed. This is definitely something that needs to be addressed, because, well, this is really fucking serious, right? So, naturally speaking, all these statements are coming out of like, hey, you've been sexually charged against this person, you've been sexually charged against this person, you blackmailed this person. And like, it just kind of started piling on and on and on and on, because again, that spark gave a lot of people courage to actually go back, check their logs to see if they had anything that could be used against them, and it was put out. Like, the people made their statements, people compiled their messages, and they put it out for the world to see. And you can say that they might be fakes, but I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, we're gonna go that route.
yeah. Well, no. But the thing that I was gonna say, all right, is like a pattern is being emerged right now. This is like, and I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think I more believe that this is actually true rather than an entire brigade of people making stuff up. That to me just sounds much more feasible.
Like, dude, something new is coming out every single day this month.
Yeah,
every single day.
Like something periodically always comes out. And it's that to the point. It's like an actual legitimate pattern is being occurred. Like, there's a pattern. Like, it's no longer just one thing here and there. Maybe, I don't know. Now it's like, okay, my guy, we gotta talk. That's
the thing, right? Like, if a lot of these content creators that get canceled on the internet, it's usually like a couple of isolated incidents.
Yeah.
But no, with Revo, it's like throwing the entire book at you and say, read all this.
So, personally speaking, right? Let's just pretend we're Revo for a second, all right? So all this is coming out against you. All this is coming out against you, right? And this is some pretty heavy shit, you know? Let's not sugarcoat it. It's, you're being accused of many heinous things here. What do you do? What do you do? What should you do? Because I'm going to tell you right now, whatever we say, it's not what he did.
He's not helping this case in the slightest.
But
I know, like, the first thing he was saying was, well, not only that it was baseless, but also, I don't remember this happening.
And see, that works legally. Like, you can say, I don't remember ever saying this. I don't remember ever, I don't know. Like, legally speaking, you can say that. And because that's kind of the thing, right? And this is why a lot of people, there's actually a few people who are like saying, oh, he's going to go to jail for this. I hate to break it to you, but no, he's not. It's just not gonna happen because
unless something absolutely crazy like caught in 4K happens. No, he's not.
But you still have to address it. You still have to say something. You still you should probably say something publicly to the world to see, so because this is pretty heinous. So it's not even just like it's not even you gotta say something to victims too. Like you are, or at least was, a pretty high standing person in the Mega Man community, as far as I was aware. So you also have to answer to your peers like Shadowrock and Proto Dude and so on and so forth. So it's like, what do you gotta say?
It goes back to what I said before. Like, I didn't want to be the one to start this entire flame that's going on, because at the end of the day, it's just like a bunch of petty drama between two YouTubers. But
this is no longer petty, and this is no longer between two people. Yeah.
And it actually did help a lot that like I could merely add my voice to what everyone else is saying rather than be the one to like start making accusations. Yeah. Even though like I think for my part I've provided enough proof to show that like what happened in my situation is real. Yeah, because
you like even that same accusation could be like, oh, you faked all of it. It could also be said about you as well. Only crazy people actually think that, but yeah, it's like, I mean, sure, you can think that, that's fine, but I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of these statements are coming out, a lot of these people are coming forward, it really does sound like the shoe fits, like pretty snug, if you ask me.
Yeah, I was like, I've seen how, if you don't swing hard when you do come out, it's just not gonna work. It's gonna feel like a pinch, if anything. So I knew like when I came out with my statement, I had to show the receipts.
Exactly.
Hard.
And that small swing that started, it became a meteoric swing where it's like, all right, there is credence to this. There's definitely you gotta say something, my guy. I like you have to address it. If it ends up being addressing it in a positive manner, in a negative manner, it doesn't matter. You gotta address this in some way, shape, or form. And that's kind of where we're at this point, where he's been. I mean, the joke is every single time a statement comes out, oops, the statement gets delayed another day, or something stupid like that, because he hasn't said anything at all. He says he has a statement cooking. He says he has something going on.
Yeah, but as days pass, it's starting to be like, is he even working on one, or is he just stalling?
And then it gets even crazier. So I guess at this point we can now say that a new challenger approaches. A very prominent person that Repid Revo is done quite a lot of heinous stuff towards was also one of the people who had the courage to actually, all right, come out and say it. I believe he actually mentioned that it was because of you that he came out.
Yeah, because just for a little context, this user, Revo actually did make them sign a email peace treaty of sorts, saying that they would never come out and say bad things about Revo. Which is funny because I'm pretty sure Revo never upholded that agreement on his end.
That's my goat right there. Leave it alone. But yeah, so a user by the name of Virtue 3D or Vile 3D as well. That's another alias, just to be sure.
Yeah, they were really hesitant to make their own statement because of the aforementioned peace treaty.
Yep.
And there were some people that were trying to goad him into doing it, but he's like, man, I just want to stay out of it. But yeah, apparently he said that because of my statement, he actually got the courage to just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, because like, to look at it this way, right? Victims are coming out left and right, but you were actually like on Revo's level in a sense, like where you were a big content creator. You actually created content for everyone to enjoy and see. So if someone like you was done dirty by this guy, well then shit, I gotta say my piece. I gotta say something. So
yeah,
he did. And
yeah, because I knew that's another reason why I knew it was kind of important that I add my voice to the pile, because yeah, there was a lot of concern at the time that not enough content creators are reacting to all this information coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a big belief out there that silence equals compliance, which I don't entirely agree with, but you know, that's kind of the sentiment. So
you are very oh yeah, go ahead and finish.
I'm sorry, what?
No, I was gonna say add like a statement, but I didn't realize you weren't done yet. So go ahead and finish your statement. What were we gonna say?
You know, just big sentiment out there that the content creators need to speak up as well to show legitimacy to all the information that's coming out. So I knew, like, you know, if the other community leaders out there aren't going to do it, may as well be me, because I actually am a victim in all this, unfortunately.
And in doing so, you actually provided quite a morale boost for others to come out and, you know, say their piece as well. Like, because I'm pretty sure there's even more victims out there who didn't want to say anything or were too afraid to say something because, again, it's that mentality of like, what if people don't believe me? What if people think I'm a liar? Things like that. But if you're saying something of the sort, well, shit, no, I think I can now, you know? And that's precisely what happened. Like you were.
Yeah, it really does help to know that, you know, someone of larger following would be able to back up what you're saying to a degree.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so then he put out his whole story of what happened to him, and wow. Like, wow, that's sheesh. Like at this point we already knew that Revo was a bad person, but then like, wow, man, like you keep telling yourself it can't get any worse than this, and it does flawlessly.
It just keeps going, and you know what's not making it any better? He keeps digging his own grave at the same time.
Yeah,
he just comes up with the most lame excuses, like, "Oh, it was just a joke, bro," or, you know, I don't remember, or it was them. They made me like this.
If he had an allergy for anything, he's allergic to accountability, 100%. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, it's never his fault. He can't. He just, you know, can't do it. He can't take that accountability and whatnot. But at this point, this is where it gets kind of like, what's the one thing we know about fire?
It spreads.
It spreads. It's hot, and more importantly, it will damage anything in its way, good or bad. And at this point, it kind of gets to this very dangerous level of, okay, people are actually coming out here, you know, saying their piece, saying like they have the courage to say their statements and whatnot. And now Repid Revo is at this state where he is overwhelmingly not approved of in any way, shape, or form. And in doing so, some people have the idea that just because it's Repid Revo and he's done all of these heinous, horrendous things, that we are now justified to doing horrendous, heinous things to him. And at this point, we start getting to this very, very dangerous game of like, that fire is now spreading, and it is now doing things that, oh no, we gotta contain this type of fire. And this is where I actually, one of the biggest things that did happen, this is where I actually had to say something, because like, I'm all for clowning in the sky. I'm all for putting the spotlight on Repid Revo for all the heinous things as well. But at the very same time, I am not down to stooping down to his level, or even below that level, to do something to him, because we are better than that. The whole reason that we want Repid Revo to take accountability for all these heinous deeds that he's done is because we want him to, you know, be better. And if it ends up being that he's just not welcome into the community, period, which I'm pretty sure that's what it is at this point, you know, that we do it right, that we're like, listen, we're done with you. You're not welcome in this community. You're a danger to our members in the community, as we have seen countless of times. But we should not be stooping to that level. And what happened to him is he was doxxed. Now, I still don't know what his address is. Nor do I want to know what it is. But somebody on, like, somebody who's been quite prominent in spreading the information, briefly put his docs. And just to iterate what it is, it was his first and last, I think it was first and last name, and his entire address. And then the person confirmed that this is Repid Revo's identity and address. And it was up there for a very brief moment. And fortunately, somebody was able to capture that proof before it was deleted. And at that point, I was like, all right, guys, we're losing the message here. We want this guy to take accountability. What the fuck are you doing doxing this guy?
Literally all we want is for this guy to finally, like, make a genuine apology, take accountability, and answer for the things he's done. We're not out here trying to swat him, dox him, like trying to ruin his real life career as well, because apparently that was a motive.
Yes.
It's just kind of weird.
So I had made a very vague tweet. Nobody understood. And I mean, I made it seem like I didn't want people to understand. But I essentially had said that, you know, I didn't realize that we were the sons of Kojima. What's going on here? And nobody knew what they were saying. But then I put out my video and I explained it all in detail, where the analogy was that Darkside Phil was a content creator, and there were a group of detractors named the Sons of Kojima who did in fact cross that line, who doxed him, swatted him. I'm pretty sure they did swat him.
Yeah, they did, like, at least once or twice.
Yeah. And, you know, like, they crossed the line, and people were, like, praising it and whatnot because, well, it's Darkside Phil. He's a piece of shit. Why would I care? And that's precisely what was, like, the sentiment here is, like, at least, not obviously not everybody agreed. Me, one of them. But because of who it is, we kind of just allowed it to happen. We kind of just, you know, oh, it's fine. It's Repid Revo. Who fucking cares? And it even gets to a point where it's like people started calling by his first name. It was like, I don't know, man. I don't vibe with that, but I guess you do you, because it's already kind of out there. But yeah, so I made the analogy and I called it out, and then I didn't even put the person's identity. Like, I didn't even put the person who put it out there. So I even kept their apology, like their name, out of it. I just called out the action. I'm like, we can't be doing this. This is some stupid shit what we're doing right now. And then I went into like, I don't like this guy very much either, but you know, I would rather put the spotlight on him, make fun of him for the things that he is actively doing. I don't want to put the guy in harm, because what happens if, you know, he does get swatted, and it is that very unfortunate swatting that where the deed happens.
If there's any red flag that we as a community have lost the plot, it's that, like, even for just saying things like, oh, he's not going to jail, or we shouldn't be doxing him or trying to ruin his real life as well. Like, there's a certain subsection of people that are going to get onto us about that. Like, no, we gotta destroy him. But dude, that's not the point. What do you mean?
It's like I'm down for clowning the guy. I'm down for making sure the spotlight's there, and I am absolutely down for putting pressure onto, you know, having him put out that so-called statement that he has. That's what we want, you know. We want to do this the right way, the civil way. Well, I don't want to find out. I don't want to find some news or whatever that, oh, hey, he's dead because he got swatted.
Yeah, that would be literally the bad ending, because
now blood's on the community's hands. It's like, oh,
exactly. Because you gotta think of the big picture. Yeah, he's done some really bad things, but what what some of you out there are trying to do to him is literally a crime. And I you know, not only do I not want to see the news of him dead, but I don't want to see the news of someone in the Mega Man community getting arrested for swatting him or something.
Yeah, that's another thing as well. It's like, oh yeah, like the person who did it is now getting arrested. And it's like, oh, well, that's not good either. And then
that just makes us look bad.
And then the more obvious thing as well is, well, how's a dead man going to take accountability?
Exactly. That's something I want to bring up as well.
So, all these threats of violence, all these like just threatening of like his location and whatnot, that's not good. I don't want that. I want to make fun of the guy. I don't want him dead. I don't want him harmed at all. No.
It kind of also comes back to like people feeling like because the content creators aren't standing up against Revo, that they feel like they have to take justice into their own hands, vigilante justice.
Exactly. It's like, if they won't do something about it, if the police won't do something about it, then we got to do something about it. And then it's like
yeah, let's be real for a moment. If he is actually doing pedo things, he would be in jail already, or someone would have reported to the police privately already. Like, you don't, like, if you have actual concerns that he's doing this stuff, you go to the police. You don't air it out over the internet.
Yeah. And like, and the thing as well is that you're gonna learn very quickly if you do try to say, hey, he is this, he is a groomer, and things like that. You're gonna find out quickly that it's not that easy. In fact, it's quite hard. It's a very tough pill to swallow, but it's true.
Yeah, it's like no doubt that he's saying like really questionable sexual things to women and minors, but the thing is, he has to be caught in the act in order to get arrested.
It's a very unfortunate thing. Like, many times we wish that, you know, it was stopped at this point, but unfortunately they don't, it's just not seen that way. And all we can really do is just put the spotlight on it, but we can't do much more than that. And if you try to do more than that, you might end up being in trouble because of it. So that's like, at that point, it's like, I get what you're trying to do. You know, it's important, but at the very same time, you can't, you know, you can only do so much. That you have to, what's the word? You have to know when to fold. And all you can really do is just, like, you know, do your community duty to just make sure other people's words are spread. Make sure that, you know, I mean, I've even seen it firsthand, like, the victims have come out and whatnot, you know, they've actually kind of mingled with the community, and, you know, they're getting to know each other and things like that, because, you know, a lot of these people share the same common fact that this guy that we looked up to and thought was pretty cool ended up hurting a lot of us, you know. So, you know, and there are a lot more other amazing people out there in the community as well that you guys should check out. So at this point, waiting for anything to come out from that guy is, I mean, let's be completely frank, right? Even if the statement comes out, right? Is it really gonna do anything at this point?
It's just gonna be riddled with blame, deflection, and a bunch of lame excuses, but very little taking accountability on, like, what he says. You know, he says, I'm going to take full responsibility for everything, but if you're going to pair that with, oh, this person did this, or this person manipulated me into doing this, it doesn't really show that you're sorry.
No. And see, this is also something I want to kind of tackle as well. So my overall message to, at the very least, the community is, and then I'm actually even happier that as time went on, even some of the bigger heads actually said something as well, because it's like, and to be perfectly honest with you, some people didn't even know. Even after all this time has passed, some people just don't know. That's because, you know, they're living their life, they're doing other things that's not being terminally online, and yeah, they're finding this stuff out they're finding this stuff out now. So it's like the people are still learning. People are still figuring, like, finding out what do you mean? What do you do? Things like that. So it sucks, you know? But what I wanted to say before is this is why I say that he is such an enigma to me. Like, Revo is a character I can never truly understand, and this also does play in his character of, like, needing to deflect, needing to make sure that he's right and things like that. Kind of goes back to Virtue, where he put out his statement and he put out all the things that was done to him, and this is, like, probably the biggest meme that's come out of this entire fiasco is, well, this guy that you chastised years ago, you know, made him sign this whole thing and whatnot, and you even done some pretty heinous things to him. What's your response to that? Oh, I'm just gonna edit this 2-year-old doc, you know, and kind of add more things to it instead of, you know, writing my own statement. And that's like, it's what it sounds. What it said was like there's no way. I don't believe you. That sounds incredibly stupid. No, it's true. It's absolutely true. And at this point, it's kind of just been documented. Like everything that he's done to this point, people are watching him now. People have their eyes on him. He's being documented constantly. A lot of things. There's a few events that's come out, but yeah, that's one of the things that happened. You know, he's just delaying the inevitable, and you'd rather pick fights with somebody who now has the upper hand. Before he didn't, but because
that's just wild to me. Like, so all these grooming allegations come out, all they're baseless. My statement comes out, didn't even read it apparently.
Didn't read it. I was
Vile's statement comes out. Oh, Vile is starting to talk smack about me now. I better go update that old dog.
And it's like, what?
He has breached the contract, bro. Like, he actually did say that in his edit. It's like he has Vile has breached our peace treaty or whatever. So I am now going to release all the evidence I have on him.
Oh my god! And it's like, what, motherfucker? You're being called a groomer. You're being called a pedophile. You're being called all these things. All these people have come out against you. They have these screenshots upon screenshots upon screenshots upon screenshots. And what do? I gotta teach this Vile guy a fucking lesson. He just like puts his sleeves up against his shoulders like, what are you doing, man? Who are you? People don't do that.
Oh my god.
Oh, and it's like, what? Again, the statement comes back. This is your goat? This is who you're defending? This is whose dick you're sucking, Proto-Twy? It must be that immaculate.
Bro, come on.
It has to be this fucking good if you're defending that guy. Come on, like. Oh my god, dude. It's just mind blowing. It's like, this isn't even about. I'm not even gonna argue of, hey, don't defend a guy. No, use your goddamn common sense, which apparently it's non-fucking-existent.
It has long left the station of questionable. Like, he's guilty. There's no question about it.
I mean, at this point, I have no choice but to think he's guilty. It's like listen. Regardless of what you think, what you think, whether or not he actually did these things, you can literally argue the legitimacy of all these people that's come out, even you. But what is the pattern that we've been seeing? He's deflecting this shit. He's in this small, tiny echo chamber, which got very small, by the way. We'll get into that in a moment.
Very small.
And you're just like, like, I'm at a loss of words, man. It's like, you're looking at this most pettiest shit of all time. You have a magnitude of things to answer. But again, you're deflecting, you're deleting evidence, you're like saying you're making the statement, which I'm gonna be real with you. Again, use ChatGPT, dude. That's your only hope at this point. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're gonna say, but it's just not gonna help you, dog. I'm sorry. Take this as pro bono advice, I guess. Sure,
he's like, from the way he talks, it really seems like he's building up this massive offensive in order to, basically, it's like Andros from Star Fox 64. If I go down, I'm taking you with me.
Yeah,
that's literally his thing right now.
Yeah, it's like, at this point, I fully do believe, like, legally speaking, nothing's probably gonna happen to you. Probably. I don't know. At this point, you just might be caught 4K. That's how little faith I have in you at this point. But yeah, it's like, I like the way you've been behaving, the way you've been acting, the deeds that you've been doing lately. Yeah, I went from huge skepticism of like whether or not I believe this to, okay, I'm starting to believe this now, because there's actually, I'm seeing the pattern now. Just like, bro, like you're just deleting shit. Like, you're hiding something. Especially like, the deleting. That's the big thing.
I'll say, this whole time I've been like in contact with other content creators, because like when something like this happens, like you start talking to other leaders, like, what are we gonna do, guys? So the big like final nail in the coffin that finally got the content creators to start coming out with their own statements is Revo deleting evidence. Like it's been shown on his Social Blade account that I think it was like since March 7th, somewhere around there. Like ever since then, every single day he's been deleting tweets.
Yeah.
All you see is a big list of negatives on his tweet count.
Yep. Absolutely.
You know, he, like we said, he privated his Twitter. He privated. He actually changed his name on Facebook and stuff like that. Like this guy is trying to cover his tracks, and the funny part is like he's even denying it.
Yeah, he's denying a lot of the stuff. Okay, to be fair though, I kind of do understand why he would change his identity, especially because it's like his information is out there.
Yeah, I actually kind of understand the Facebook one. Like, you don't want to be doxxed. That's understandable.
Yeah.
It's really the deleting of the tweets that gets me.
Yeah, the deleting of the tweets, the deleting the evidence and whatnot. It's like, what are you doing? Like, by doing that, you are definitely trying to hide something outright. And like, I can't help but to believe. I can't help but to like think, shit, maybe you did do something.
Because like once he started deleting tweets, no, he lost the battle.
Yeah,
and that's when like literally the same day that like the content creator started figuring out that he was deleting evidence. That same day, you see Pro Dude come out with a statement, and a couple other guys. It's like, no, he lost. Like if you're doing that, you're guilty. That's charged.
Yeah.
There's no going back.
Like, sure, nothing might not happen to you legally, but this is a religious term. But if you've seen John Wick, as far as I'm aware, you're excommunicado from the community. Like, you're Repid Revo is dead, as far as I'm aware. Like, you got to go somewhere else, really, because I mean, you can stick around. I was gonna welcome you, but yeah, it's like no one likes you, no one respects you at this point, no one believes you. I mean, you have your defenders, but you know. Actually, let's talk about the speedrun of the century, and that is the speedrun.
Like it's time.
The speedrun of the history of Repid Revo's Discord server. Speedrun. So somebody put out his server invite, and people started going in, of course. And like, if you want the way he truly feels, that's where you go. Like that's where you absolutely go, into that server, because that is where he truly speaks about. In fact, some of the things that he said about Shadowrock, like the whole Save a Click and the Solo Boy Aaron, came from his server, because that is like the only place that he feels safe to speak in at this point. And
which well, up until now, he has not been safe in there, because a lot of people are countering every point he makes.
Yep. Like, you have his defenders, you have but whatnot, but then like there are reasonable people in there. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, you're kind of not sounding right at this moment. In fact, you're wrong, and here's why. And his response is basically, And then, yeah. Now this is something you more know, because I'm gonna be real with you. And this, I think this happened last night, where something like, so the person who put out the Discord server invite, that happened, I think, like a day or two ago. And then I go to bed. And then I wake up the next day. And then I see a screenshot of like, oh, there's only like 20 members in there. I was like, what the fuck happened? So I'm gonna let you take over, because this is very new to me. That would like to be enlightened.
It was a shock to me as well. I guess first I should explain what the speedrun is about. So there was a live stream he did. Apparently, Revo hasn't done the best of job of hiding his personal info on streams. And I mean, I've been there. I've had things accidentally leak as well, but not as bad as him, to be fair. But yeah, there was a point in one of his streams where he showed his porn folder by accident, I guess. And there was a folder called Younglings, and you could probably take a wild guess of what that folder contains.
Yeah, no, and that's where I go back to the log. This is an unfortunate argument that does happen. It's like, oh, what's wrong with consuming lolly art? What's wrong with lolly art? There's nothing wrong with lolly art. It's art. It's fictional. Who fucking cares? And it's like, I mean, yeah, you're right. Who cares? But like, as long as you don't talk to minors, it's fine, I guess. But oh, hey, guess what? You're talking to minors now, huh?
Yeah. It just makes it look worse.
Now it kind of makes sense why you like that lolly stuff, huh?
Yeah, basically, it's more about like painting a picture of like who he is.
Basically, the shoe fits. Now, all of a sudden, now it's like, oh, that don't look good on you, fam. Also, I mean, I'll let you continue, but to kind of briefly go over why I call it the Discord, the Repid Revo Discord server speedrun, is because to briefly go over it, and actually it does link. I don't know why, but it does, and I hate the fact that it does. There was a person by the name of Yandere Dev who is very notorious for having like a lot of rules in the server, and you can get banned very quickly. So a whole meme came up where, all right, I'm gonna create a new account, whatever. I'm gonna go inside the server and see how long it takes for me to get banned. And thus it sounded like a meme, like Summoning Salt-esque feeling of trying to speedrun as soon as possible. So that's what ended up happening with the Repid Revo.
Yeah, so people are taking that image from that stream where he has the Younglings folder, and they started posting it in his Discord, seeing how fast they can get banned.
Yep.
Spoiler alert, they got banned pretty fast.
And they won! They had the record! But then, it takes a turn I would have never expected. I'm gonna be honest with you. So please explain this part, because this fucking blows my mind.
Oh, you know though, it's funny you mention Yandere Dev, because there is a screenshot from his Discord server where Revo admits that there are similarities between him and Yandere Dev.
That is why I said, that's I hate the fact that it links. He compared himself to Yandere Dev. I'm like, are you kidding me? Do you know what happened to him the other like a little bit ago? Bro, he's going through the same shit you're going through. What are you doing, man? Oh my god. I want to cry, man. He's so fucking stupid, man.
Yeah, so we talked about before how a lot of people coming out have started this chain reaction of other people getting the courage to finally speak up about their experiences with Revo. And it turns out one of his moderators, known as Ditzy, was actually to like kind of keep it factual, according to their doc, what happened was Revo was saying sexual things to them, like a lot of sexual things, like, oh crap, that's getting heated sexual. And
let me ask as well, were they minors at the time or no?
I was actually gonna get to that.
Okay.
So like in terms of like when they were minors, I have seen screenshots. It's actually not in this doc, but it's like another doc I've seen in private. But I've seen screenshots where Revo was making jokes, quote unquote, about seeing her boobs, and this is when she was 16. And he like let her into his porn server. By the way, he has a porn server, a private one for like his close friends.
Oh, I didn't know about that. No.
Yeah,
What
so
are
he
you
has a 16-year-old in a porn server, and then he's talking about, oh man, it'd be unbecoming of me if I saw my moderator's boobs. So that's probably the most compelling one so far. But then you fast forward a little bit. This is when like their doc picks up. This guy, Mr. Revo, was like actually having sex with them, like when they're like 19, 20, somewhere around that range.
What the fuck do you mean by
DMing her things like, oh, I want to do all these unspeakable acts to you. Oh, okay, I'm so getting off. Side note, at this time he was quote unquote married, and unfortunately the cheating hasn't stopped because he's been caught still doing all this flirting stuff,
He's
even
a
with
fucking gooner. What? Oh my god.
yeah, like even with his current girlfriend, he's been cheating on her. So it's it's the rabbit hole just keeps going, dude. It just keeps going.
I didn't know that. Hold on.
Yeah, it's like, I guess debatable if you could call it caught in 4K, but like it's probably like the most compelling thing to date.
Well, he's definitely a sex pest. There's no denying that whatsoever.
Yeah,
like, you cannot refute that. What the fuck? And I'm gonna be real with you, like I'll still say it's alleged, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It is alleged.
I think I'm starting to believe even harder now. I didn't know that. That's really bad.
Yeah. The reason why I said that like he was like actually having sex with this girl is because there is a former in real life friend that's like also a friend of Bonus that testified to seeing them doing the dirty deed in a hotel room right in front of Bonus, by the way, so that's cool. But yeah, so in the end, this mod Ditzy went completely rogue. It just went nuclear on the server.
I did see that screenshot of like, hey guys, a mod went completely rogue. I'm gonna fix this server. So once again, the statement's been delayed, guys. Oops.
Oh yeah, I gotta play this statement, guys. I gotta fix my server.
I gotta let it cook, bro.
What are you doing, bro?
What are you?
But anyway,
go ahead and finish.
So basically what I mean by Ditzy went rogue is she went to, because by the way, she I don't know if I really went into detail, but like she's like the head admin or something like that. She has like perms to everything. She can do basically whatever she wants besides banning Twitch himself or Revo himself because he's the owner, obviously. But she could do pretty much anything else she wants. So she posted her doc and said, hey guys, not only am I going to post my doc, but now for my next act, well, I wish she actually said that, but she said, now you all are going to disappear. And that was that. She started like making other people mods, and then she banned everybody.
Oh my god.
Everybody.
Here's like, hey guys, here's an AR, get shooting. Oh no!
Yeah, oh dude, that's wild.
That's powerful. Holy shit. Wow.
Yeah, Sapphire is texting us right now. She brings up a good point that the reasoning is Ditzy believes that she is protecting the kids in the server by banning everyone.
She didn't have the power to delete the server, did she?
No, because that's only the server owner that can do that.
No, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. I mean, this is one of those things where it's like, normally speaking, purging members or deleting members off a server, sure, that's like very roguelike behavior, but at the very same time, it's like, yeah, she's kind of doing you all a favor. Like, get the fuck out. What are you doing? Like, she's basically kicking you out and making sure you don't come back because you shouldn't come back. Oh my, I'm still hung up on the porn server, dude, and inviting us to like, listen.
Yeah, that happened.
Listen, right? Okay, you can say, "Hey, man, those screenshots, those victims coming out talking to a minor, those are fine. You know what? Just for this example, I'll agree with you. They were photoshopped. They were AI generated. They were whatever excuse you come up with. Whatever. I'm gonna agree with you. This is undeniable. What is your reasoning for this one? Tell me. What excuse? What do you have to say about this?
And you can't even say he didn't know her age because Ditzy goes over how she made it pretty clear in there that she was only 16 or 17.
Oh my god.
Like, I forgot to mention the reason that Ditzy went rogue, like the thing that was the main catalyst for it was there was something about there was a user that was harassing Ditzy and then Revo just kind of ghosted her during that. But then right after that, Revo is like, oh, by the way, I finally told my girlfriend that we had sexual relations before, and now she doesn't want to share the same room with you, essentially, so I gotta block you now. That's when she went nuclear.
I can add that. It's tough where, but that... What the fuck, man?
So it's like you're talking like a creep to not only women but minors, but you also have like this habit of just like you just can't stop being weird with women in general.
Yeah, he's a sex pest. That's basically what he is.
Like no doubt, it's confirmed.
Now there's some breaking news, but I actually want to go over something that actually did happen. One of the things that the community did. Now, I'll be honest with you. I think the deed itself was fine, but kind of using it as like a sick haha own against Revo was kind of cringe. But basically, Repid Revo was a part of the Capcom community. He was a Capcom. What are they called? Capcom creators. Is that what the name of it?
Capcom creators. For anyone who's not aware, Capcom creators is kind of like an official content creator club hosted by Capcom themselves.
Yes.
And basically, it's like if you're a content creator, you want to be in that club because it's the best way to get like early review copies and things like that, a bunch of goodies, and merch and stuff like that.
Yes. And somebody had reported him because, I mean, it is in their TOS that you probably shouldn't be doing these things. And I think if I remember correctly, he broke every single rule. Every single one. Flawlessly.
Yeah. We went over to TOS and he broke basically every rule. It was kind of crazy.
So yeah, he was reported and he was removed from the program. And now we're being told that there is now I want to know what this is because I've never heard of this before. Control Alt Crit. Do you know what that is?
So I believe this is like a group of content creators that do tabletop role-playing games, like kind of like D&D but Mega Man edition.
Oh, okay.
And Revo was actually part of this group until now.
Yeah, it was brought to our attention that he was in fact a part of the group, and there's a screenshot here that yep, that's Twitch, his OC, and yep, Repid Revo, and yeah, gone.
Yep.
Damn. Here's the thing too. Neo showed us this, where like you can take like a clean slate of like your search history or whatever, and just look up Repid Revo, and like the first things that'll come. I'll ask him for the screenshot because I think he has it, but like the first things that come up that autofill is like rumor, allegations, like definitely not lore keeper or anything like that. Like
no, nothing that he wants you hit, or nothing that he would want to be associated with him. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know how to do it in Opera GX, but yeah, you can just look up Repid Revo in an incognito tab, and yeah, like that's like the first things that come. I don't know if that's still true to this day, but it probably is, to be honest with you.
Let's test it right now.
Sure. How do I go into a? Oh, she just checked. That's funny.
All right, so I just typed Repid Revo into Google, and here's what comes up. First result: grooming, bonus level, face, age, Twitch, drama, Reddit, face review, Reddit, and merch. That's the very bottom.
Bro, it's over. No way.
Oh no.
It's like, what are you gonna do? Like, I mean, you're not gonna work at the statement. That's for fact. Dude, man, it's like, again, like, right, kind of going back to, and yeah, so kind of to go back, right, you don't want to overstep, you don't want to go over the line and make yourself look worse, right? Because that we're better than that as a community, right? But here's the funny thing, right? And this is the absolute saddest fact about this whole thing, right? You don't gotta do shit. You don't have to do anything. Do you know why?
Nope.
He's gonna do it to himself.
He is literally himself.
He is literally. I don't know if you remember The Simpsons, like the older episodes. Do you remember that part when Sideshow Bob, he walks into a rake and he makes that sound?
Yeah.
And then he walks into another rake and he makes the sound. And then like it kind of zooms back and there's just a bunch of rakes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes, that is precisely Repid Revo to a T. That's him.
It really is.
That's him. Like he can just walk around, he can fix it, he can pick up the rakes, he has all the power in the world to make this somewhat better. I have to be perfectly honest, right? Like,
I don't think there's any going back for him now.
I'm a hopeful person. I'm a very positive person. I try to see the positive in people. I even try to see the positives in the most bleak situations of all time. I don't see it here. I can't see it here. There is no light. In fact, there's no tunnel. You're just in the abyss, my guy. The amount of digging that you've done, the amount of damage that you've done to yourself is insurmountable. What the fuck are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You can't do shit.
The only thing you can do is just rebrand or go to another community and hope you don't get caught.
Basically.
I don't know what else he could do.
Like, again, all of this is very preventable. I don't know about the sex pest part. I feel like you should probably go to therapy for that, probably. Oh,
Yeah.
but
Like, that's the thing, right? Like, if he had just, from like frame zero, like, yeah, I did it. I'm really sorry. I'm going to seek immediate help. Like, that's better than nothing. Like, at least there would be like a chance at redemption, somewhat. But nope, he squandered all that.
he really did. Like, getting back to the analogy, he had all this power to just fix it, but instead he doesn't fix it, keeps stepping on rakes. And actually, what's even more perplexing and mind-blowing, and it's like, why would you even do such a thing? He's adding more rakes to step on. Like, how do you do that? How? Why are you doing this? Who are you? Do you have a brain? Don't answer that question. That's rhetorical. But what the fuck? Like, seriously, what? He's an enigma. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, like, I think it just blows my mind. I expect it at this point, but it still blows my mind that, like, even today, I've seen a screenshot going around where Kia is talking to someone in his server, and he's like, "You too? You're buying into this bullcrap as well? Well, goodbye." Like, how could you do that with all this evidence out there? Are you serious?
I'm sorry. What are you talking about? You're a pee-pee poo-poo liar. La 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 la.
Literally, like, he has no defense. His defense is nuh-uh.
It really is that giant 3D text of nah. That's his defense, like outright.
That's it. That's his defense, guys. Well, we solved it. That's the statement.
I hope his statement is formatted so where you can like arrange the letters and it just spells out. Oh god, it's like, and that's the thing too, right? It's like, okay, to give him even an ounce of charitable energy of any sort, right? Even when he puts out his statement, right? Because he did it, guys. He put out the statement, guys. He did it. No one's gonna read it. No one's gonna give a shit. Like, they're just gonna fuck around with it.
It's funny, like, there's so much irony going on, like parallels between the Saved You a Click SR campaign that he was a part of and like what's going on now. Like, even back then, the document that they try to put around about me, like, even Ash was like, bro, I'm not gonna read this.
Yeah. It's like, why would you waste your time and read this? Like, if there was any ounce of redemption, which I need the eyes and the mind. I need to take a defender's eyes and brain and just meld it with my own, because clearly you guys are seeing something that I and many others in the world just cannot see. Like, clearly your third eye has opened in the worst way possible, and you're seeing something. You're seeing your goat cook. He's burning the water, but I guess it's cooking. Sure, call it whatever you want. It just blows my. Oh, I just don't get it. Like, this whole thing, this whole entire situation confuses me to no end.
It's like, dude, the irony though, is like going back to my prior point.
Yeah.
Right now he's getting bombasted for like the same things he tried to do to me. Like, you know, a doc that's pretty weak. There was like the parroting Rock Band Corner thing. Well, now people are like, well, his theories weren't that great anyways, and a lot of it was just regurgitated from Mega Man Wiki anyways. And the other, what was the other one? The Hollow Dome, right? He had the aberrant units. It's just gone completely full circle. I can't, dude. It just boggles the mind.
Yeah, It really does, you know? Like, I mean, I'm still gonna make fun of him, right? I think we're deep into this video anyways. Like, the background footage is just gonna be him being made fun of the entire time. Like, there's no hope, dog. Like, zero hope. But at the same time, it's like, I can't help but to think this is sad. This is depressing. This is just, what the fuck? Like,
I'll say again, like, it's probably very unprofessional to be like laughing at someone like this, but at this point, he deserves it. Like,
yeah.
no way.
I mean, no, you're absolutely right. Like, I shouldn't be making fun of this. I kind of feel bad, like, deep down, because it's like, I don't want to be putting down. I mean, he's not my fellow content creator. I'm just kind of there. But I mean, like, for you, for like people who's worked with him and the community as well, it's like, you kind of worked with the guy, and it's so sad and depressing to see, like, this is what you're doing, man. It's like,
I try to be as respectful as I possibly can to like my fellow creators, but there is a certain point, like, as much as that I like to think of myself as a nice guy, the moment you cross that line, you backstab me or you try to hurt my friends and family, that's a line you cannot go back over and try to apologize for. Nope, at that point you're literally dead to me. Not literally, but, you know, like, in my eyes, like, you're nothing. You are the scum of the earth. And I'm not gonna hold anything back.
no, that's again, that's sad. Like with me and you, our tolerance and our, like, we are very patient. We're very tolerant of, like, things, and he just ruined it.
Like, you know, you done gooped when you make some of the nicest people hate you as well.
Yeah,
like, that's really when you know you've gone too far.
Actually, I wouldn't even say I hate the guy. I'm, like, unbelievably disappointed. It's like, I feel like I have this sense of disappointment. It's like unlimited disappointment. It's like, man, you fumbled the ball hard and you don't care. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, that's true. Like, it's very rare that I say I hate someone. With Twitch,
you have a legitimate reason though. Like, you like,
yeah. But it's like, I don't know, man.
It's just a massive amount of disappointment.
It's very complicated how I feel. It's like, okay, I don't mind saying I hate him at this point, but like you said, it's more disappointment than anything. It's like, how can you mess up this bad? How can you be so stupid? Like unironically stupid.
Yeah, really. Like, I'm impressed. I'm unbelievably impressed how stupid you are. I thought I've met the stupidest person beforehand. I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. I'm only sorry because this is a thing that I've spent time talking about. But at the very same time, I just don't have any bars to hold anymore. Like, I'm just not gonna restrict myself anymore. Like, you are a clown. You put the makeup on and it fits you quite well. I wish you the best of luck, and hopefully you'll maybe, by some fucking miracle, see the error of your ways and actually attempt to fix things, and, you know.
Yeah, but as the days goes by, that hope is dying very slowly but surely.
And the even sadder part is, most of the time, I always give myself that room for errors. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody will prove me wrong, right? Maybe, perhaps.
The thing is, though, I given him that benefit of the doubt for so many years.
I'm
so tired of it.
I can safely say, right? I am absolutely confident that I'm right. You're never gonna get better, ever. I'm that confident. Feel free to prove me wrong, but you're not gonna.
No, like you're deleting evidence, bro. You're deleting evidence, and you're over here like, well, I'm going to expose my ex and everyone who's ever talked bad about me and provide the full context. Bro, what are you doing?
He broke the train, he shot a rock, he needs to die!
Bro, just say if the allegations are true or not. That's all anyone cares about. Shut up about your ex. No one cares. I don't want to downplay what happened to Bonus. Like, it is really awful, and I'm really sorry that all that happened, and I do support them in that way, but it's just not like that's between them, you know. It's not really relevant to the community as a whole, like how he's behaving and stuff. That's like what he needs to answer for more than anything. Like, he can answer the Bonus in private or whatever, but like as far as the community goes, he needs to tell us if the allegations are true or not. And if they're not true, show us why.
Bro, practice your size. Get a dog. Fucking pet your dog while you're sighing and just start off like just even say that you weren't mentally unwell. I don't care. Just fucking get ChatGPT to tell you what to do and this apology, for fuck's sake. Like, even if it's disingenuous to fuck, just anything, please, just stop. Just actually just like even take accountability at this point. Just fake it till you make it, baby. Put that mask on and smile while you're apologizing to the whole community. Because guess what? Nobody's gonna believe you anyways. God damn it.
The thing is, too, something I wanted to mention. I mean, it was kind of funny at first when it looked like that Revo possibly nuked his own server. But when I found out that it was actually a rogue mod that did it, I'm just like, really? I was really hoping it was like either Revo or one of his like mods that's still on his side, but not like a rogue mod. Because when a rogue mod does it, yeah, I guess you're trying to protect the miners or whatever, but what you're really doing is giving Revo the echo chamber that he wants. Now there's no more reasonable.
Actually,
like, there is no more reasonable people in that server in the slightest. Now it's just his supporters, all 19 of them, I guess. And also, that just gives him another opportunity to delete evidence, with only his supporters being the witnesses. I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I don't really agree with that action either.
Yeah,
I think it was better when there were still reasonable people in there that could keep him in check.
It was very reckless, I will say that. Like, it was like, I get it, and I don't blame you, but yeah, you, by trying to do that, you ended up doing a somewhat harm. I mean, like, what the fuck, man? Like, what do you do? But no, yeah, like, the echo chamber is definitely strong. 100%. And I'm pretty sure it's still closed, right? Like, you can't even go to Revo's server.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm pretty sure it's been closed for a while, but then like the invite leaked somehow.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, no, yeah, somebody outright put the invite on the Twitter. That was like the whole thing, and that was like, that's what made it funny, really. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at this point. At this point, we're just, I mean, it feels like I'm just venting frustrations and whatnot. And like the saddest, like honestly speaking, right? Like, I feel bad for people who was hurt by him, people he's worked with. Some people were even crossed in like they got hit by stray fire because people were just fucking dumb, and like some people were brought into this. I don't want to mention this too much, but this is something that did kind of happen. That actually angered me immensely. I was like, what the fuck are you people doing? But to like, I guess, briefly go over it, because he was somewhat integral in his channel. Coleman did content with Repid Revo. It was very prominent. And
that's a good point.
He's just been doing his own thing because, you know, he did say it publicly, but he has a family now, and that's his biggest priority. So he's been not really online very much, if even at all. And all of a sudden, he was just tagged out of nowhere.
Coleman had the show called Rambling Reploids, and Revo was a consistent guest on that show.
Yes.
But unfortunately, as far as their relationship, Coleman said that like they're more like work friends than anything. So for the most part, he had like no idea like how bad it was behind the scenes regarding Revo.
Yeah.
And wasn't until like recently that like he got like the full picture of like what's going on and how he is. So he's been like doing what he can to distance himself from Revo. Those Mega March episodes, originally there were Revo episodes for this year, but they've been removed once the allegations came out. And I know like he's been asking me like what to do about his legacy content that involves Revo. I told him like it's best to just keep it up for like posterity's sake. Like, you know, it all happened in the past. I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah. The part that truly angered me is when he was tagged, because I'm trying to find the tweet itself because it fucking pissed me off to no end. I'm like, this is like, it's kind of like, obviously it's not as bad as the docs. Like, I think that was one of the worst things they've done. The whole point was he was tagged, and they were like, "Oh, Coleman, what do you have to say? You uploaded things with him and you worked with him a lot. What are you, harboring a criminal with your wife?" And I'm like, what? I want to get the actual tweet itself, because it was like the most what the fuck did I just read type thing. And that's how ignorant and uninformed people are, really.
It just boiled down to like you knew everything about the cheating and all this other stuff going on, and you're complicit as well for not speaking up about it. So that's basically what it boiled down to.
And I was like, what? What do you... What? Why? Why would you say that? And yeah, he did. He was like... Actually, I found the actual tweet itself. Oh, it was deleted. Good. But yeah, basically, he was like, I didn't know this. This is a work relationship. And keep my family out of this. It was a very, very, very short and sweet response. It's like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? But yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. In my opinion, this should just stay on Revo. Like, this ain't really the time to be bringing other people into it.
Yeah, and that was an example of he didn't know about any of this stuff. Like, for the most part, like he knew like a very basic level, but for the most part, he just didn't know it, all of it. And all of a sudden, it just comes straightforward because there's just some people who are just dumb. And I'm glad that tweet got deleted, because that means that they were like, yeah, it was
it's
dumb.
like, it's like you know, pooping on Proto-Twi is one thing, because he actually is like part of the whole situation, especially like when it comes to my situation.
Yeah.
But Coleman, like, he didn't do anything. Like, leave him alone. Like
you just don't involve people just because they they might have done work with them. Like they don't know. Like you don't
Yeah,
know
it's like-
that they know.
Yeah, it's like one time, it was like that old incident where, you know, he told people to get bent over misgendering. Someone like tried to bring me into it, like, hey, your friend is doing this. What do you got to say? I'm like, bro, just can you leave me out of it, please? To me, it just comes across as a bit petty as well to like just start tagging people that collabed with him, like, hey, you should kick him out or whatever. It actually happened to Control Alt Crit. Like someone said like, hey, why are you still associated with him?
That's why he's not. That's why they took him out. Okay, now it makes more sense.
Well, that's not actually. They clarified this. So Control Alt Crit replied saying that their website only updates once a month. So for the duration of March, like Revo was still on there because it hadn't been updated for the month. But for like basically like end of March or April and on, he's gonna be removed because that's just like how the website works.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So like they already knew about it and all, but it was just like it wouldn't be reflected on the website until now.
Yeah, and they don't have to say anything if they don't want to. Like, honestly speaking,
honestly, like that's why Coleman was doing it. Like he didn't say anything. He just quietly disassociated.
Yeah,
and you know that's kind of what I was doing for a while as well. I didn't like make any public statements until everyone else started doing it.
Yeah, but that's the thing as well, right? It's like, should some of the figureheads say something? Sure, it would definitely help. It will help quell the anger, the stupidity, absolutely. But at the end of the day, they don't have to. It's up to them, really. Because like some of them might not have anything to add to the situation, so it's better to say nothing.
Yeah, there's
and stay
definitely
out
a lot
it
of
than to make yourself look stupid and say something ignorant. It's dumb.
Yeah, there's a lot of content creators that just have never interacted with Revo at all, or just know him very little. And on top of that, their community members never brought him up once. So at that point, you know, you got off easy. Like, I don't think there's any reason for you to bring him up.
Yeah. And then an artist that's quite known in the Mega Man community, Spring Queen, was also dragged into this as well. And it's like, why? Why did you have to do that? Like, if someone's willing to say something, then sure. But don't put somebody on the spotlight when they don't have to be. If anything, that's just you being rude. You being very inconsiderate. You don't just force somebody to say something.
Yeah, like, I mean, I do recommend, like, if you have collabed with Revo before, you should probably say something just to, like, you know, get the message out there that you don't stand by what's going on. Other than that, like, to force it on them, that's pretty cringe too.
And some just don't know. Like there are people who just stay in their lane and don't do.
Yeah, there's that's the thing about the Mega Man community. Like, I can't speak for other communities, but like, there's a lot of people in the Mega Man community that just stay in their lane. After all, like, we're literally split up by a bunch of different genres and series.
Yeah.
You don't often see the X fans interacting with the Battle Network fans that much, and vice versa. Everyone just kind of stays where they want to be, and that's fine.
Yeah, and again, it's like, you can't force everyone to say something, and you also can't. You shouldn't be taking these matters into places they shouldn't go, because, like, I guarantee you some of these people you've called out, like, they just weren't comfortable with saying anything, and now that you put them in the spotlight, now they feel like they have to say something. It's not because they wanted to say something, but it's because, well, oh god, now I'm put in the spot. If I don't say anything, I look like an asshole. But in actuality, the asshole was the person who called him out to begin with. Honestly speaking, my condolences to like anyone who's hurt, you especially. Because like you're the one I truly know, but everyone else as well. Hey man, you were hurt in some way, shape, or form, and
Yeah.
I'm glad you're getting some sort of closure. I'm glad you guys are meeting new people and better people. I feel that, you know, you guys are mingling and whatnot, and, you know, getting to know each other. Or even if you just like decide to like leave and stay in your own lane, that's fine too. The big problem is now has a spotlight on him. This is no longer a strange thing, you know. We're now aware of it. We now know what to do, and we can just wait forever, but I don't know. We'll see.
At this point, I think this is just gonna keep getting dragged, like, for a long time still, because he's not gonna take responsibility for anything. That all his statements in Discord when he broke his silence attested to that, and people are still coming out with stuff to this day. There's still developments happening, like, you know, the server getting nuked. This is probably not going to go away anytime soon. You could say it might have gone away sooner if he had finally come out with a statement, but it's starting to become increasingly unlikely that that's ever going to happen.
Yep. So the purpose of this video is to kind of go over, like, not in full detail, but at least kind of go over the key points that happened, but more importantly, to just, you know, kind of just vent, kind of say how we truly feel, and then after this, that's it. Like, I want to put this behind me. I would rather talk about more positive things. I would rather talk about, I don't know, Mega Man. You know, I would rather just do anything else but talk about a person who has zero redeeming choice whatsoever. And if you ever want a response, I'm sorry that this is a long time, but, you know, if you ever wanted to know how I feel, if you ever wanted to know how Shadowrock feels, and if you ever wanted to know how any of us really feels, like Neil as well, because he was here in the beginning, now you know. You can listen to this on the side. You can enjoy the background footage. I will be putting statements here and there just to like kind of just make it a bit easier, but a lot of the stuff is going to be in the description and things like that, so that way, you know, you have your materials and whatnot. But after that, I'm basically done. I'll probably still make fun of the guy as time goes on, because that's all it really is at this point. But in terms of like anything like super serious, I'm not expecting anything. I'm not hoping for anything. It's just
like, for myself, I haven't commented on much publicly in a while, because yeah, there's been like statements made and other things happening, but overall the situation has not moved forward, because unfortunately this has evolved beyond just grooming allegations. This is now about everyone airing out their dirty laundry about each other. And I'm talking about Revo, Bonus, the IRL friends, the mods, everybody. Everyone's just airing out all their dirty laundry about each other. And I think it should be more about supporting the victims that were hurt, and not just getting into all this other drama that's frankly not super relevant. Like, it is relevant, but we gotta keep the focus on the victims more so than anything. So it's really unfortunate that it's kind of progressed to that point. Don't overstep the bounds. We need a like the best way to move forward at this point is we gotta at least try to become a better example of how the community should be, and encourage others to do the same, and not stoop to this man's level.
Yep. As far as I'm aware, Repid Revo is excommunicado from the Mega Man community. He's not a part of it. I will never see him a part of it. No matter what he says, no matter what he does, he's just guy. That's it. If he wants to snake his way back in, if he wants to even go to another community, that's on you, man. At this point, you do you. Do what you like, do what you want. But I'm gonna, concentrate on myself. But more importantly, concentrate on entertaining and creating content for the Mega Man community, so that way you guys can enjoy and see what else we can offer besides just this.
Yeah, I agree. It's probably be the last thing I do in regards to this situation.
Yep.
Unless he does come out with a statement, then I'll react to that definitely. But other than that, I'm basically done on my end.
Yeah, I think that's the same as well. It's like, if like something dire comes out, maybe I'll look at it. But yeah, like at this point, I just hope you guys don't cross the line. That's all I really ask, honestly. Don't cross the line, support each other, love each other, and we'll do good. And
we gotta keep up that fight for everlasting peace.
that is true. I know I come off as very lacking a filter. I know I come off as harsh, but that's because I also am willing to understand and even go against the nature of some of these things where this is not some kiddie shit. This is not some this is serious. Like, and the fact that I'm just seeing like people play, like, see this as a game, it's like, no, I can't respect that. So yeah, I sound harsh, but it's because I actually care. That makes sense.
Like, I know we're probably gonna make some enemies from this little recording.
That's
actually
fine.
Big recording, but
Yeah.
it's fine, because at the end of the day, we're just being honest about what's going on, and if we don't agree with it, we don't agree with it, and nothing personal. It's just telling it like it is.
Exactly. I care about aspects of the whole situation, but personally speaking, I would rather it be done, I don't even want to say the right way, but the proper way. I don't like crossing the lines I don't want to cross. Like, the doxing. That to me was like the biggest thing. It's like, yeah, we shouldn't be crossing that line. What are you doing? We're better than that. And there's other things that was done as well, but the biggest one is the doxing. Like, that doesn't fly with me. I don't care how justified you feel you are with the action. No, that's just not the way. If anything,
it's bad. Yeah, it's bad enough that the community is getting a bad rap because of this guy. Well, let's try not to make it worse, please.
Yep. Let's do better. Be better. That's all I ask, really.
Yeah, like, the best way we can move on is just be better than him. Show that we can be better than him, that we aren't like him.
Which is not that hard, I'll be honest with you. But, that is what it is.
But just doing all these things to him, that's just showing that you aren't much different from him. And that needs to stop.
Yep.
Because at this point, there's like no way this guy is going to wake up and actually own up to things. Just let him dig his grave. you don't have to do anything. Just let him destroy himself.
If I
the
have to be
best way to
perfectly
feel about
honest
it.
with you, I see people. Well, one, I don't even see many people finishing the entire video. Some, sure, but not all. But more importantly, what I think will truly happen is people are just gonna like you, not so much, maybe some, but I do expect blowback from this, and that's fine. And I am a person who's willing to understand, and maybe you can prove me wrong, but if you're willing to cross that line, then I don't want to understand you, because you've already crossed a line that I'm not willing to cross. And just because you want to cross that doesn't mean I have to comprehend you.
Unprofessionalism aside, like, I don't think I've said anything that I'm not ready to defend, so I'm good there.
Yeah, like I may have I'm gonna joke on the guy. You're not stopping me. I'm gonna say things in a very harsh manner. That's just who I am. I am willing to be softer. I'm willing to be, kinder, and I have been. But this is not one of those situations, I also especially don't like it when there are people who I consider a friend to be dragged into this in the wrong ways. Like, respect my friends and I'll respect you. It's that simple. We're on the same side here, but if you want to have this fight, by all means, I guess. But I'll deal with that on my own. That's about it. That's all I really gotta say. And that's it. We're all done. As far as I can tell, anything new comes out, the best I'll do is just maybe look at it and spread it around, but that's about it. I got nothing really more to say. Shadow X don't got very much more to say either. At the very least, all I'll really do is just jokes. That's all I can really do at this point, because that's all he's really worth, in my opinion. But anyways, that's not why I'm here talking at the very end. I'm here to push two pretty big videos. One that's already made, and another that's being made. The one already made is by my friend, Neo Eclair. He made a pretty sick roast video, not too long, about the whole situation, kind of summarized in a very, very condensed fashion. It doesn't go over everything in detail, but it goes over the most parts, and it definitely brings the message that, yeah, he's not a good person. But more importantly, if you want something more decisive, more detailed oriented, something that actually catalogs majority, if not all, the details that's going on as we speak, then look forward to Burnt Crow SP's video. He's actually doing a lot of research and writing up the script and everything to make sure that everything is talked about and is in a very digestible video. Look forward to that, because I sure as hell am. But anyways, it's been me, TGP. I love you all, and I'll catch you next time. Hopefully, not in this manner. Peace out.